I knew you were a good teammate and a good sport. Thank you, Jabbar.
You're welcome, Debbie.
Thank you for helping us with Special Olympics, and thank you for being such a good ambassador for the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll hope to see you next time I'm in Houston.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Debbie.
Hey, welcome back. $144,000. 144. Every time we come back here to shoot on the top of the hour, our number keeps growing. It's exactly what we would hope would happen. Your generosity is very much appreciated. It's incredible what people are doing and what kind hearts they have for 24 hours of nothing but net, which directly benefits Special Olympic athletes. Okay, so Denise, can you hit the button, please? Thank you. All right. One. Can somebody turn that down back there? Two. Three. Four. Five. Six. Seven. Eight. Nine. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 19. How'd that come out? 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 'Thank you, 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39. 40. 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 'Thank you. 97. 98.
Peanut gallery.
9. All right. Okay, so
Wait, is it still? Oh, I was just gonna say Denise had the thingy.
who's in charge of my phone? It hit me square between the eyes. See what happens when the wine comes out? It hit me right between the eyes.
Good job.
Jack, come over here, man. Look at this is my neighbor Jack, and he went to NC State. How about that? Right?
Yes,
My
flying
neighbors
the
have been
colors.
great. My neighbors are awesome. You're so great to be here. Thank you. I see you in the
wouldn't miss it.
workout room, so you know how hard I've been working.
Yes,
Right?
I know. I know.
Okay, so stay right here because I'm going to tell you what's next.
Okay.
So I don't know if it was my friend Carter that inspired me or what we have coming up next, but I was thinking about both of them while I was shooting. Carter did such a great job playing his own music, his written music. He's my partner on CBS for the men's tournament. And so Carter, that was my best hour. I only missed 3, right?
That's right.
That was my best hour so far. And I shouldn't have missed any of them, to be honest with you. Jack is getting credit for me missing 1 because he said Wolfpack in the house. And no, I'm just teasing you. Okay, here's what we got next, Jack. I
What
know
we got
you're a
next?
fan. I know you're a fan of this person.
Yes.
Okay, and I know that the girls that are here are going to be excited about watching this next interview. My friend, Mia Hamm, is iconic. She is an incredible person. She obviously is a soccer legend.
Yes.
Even though she went to North Carolina, you and I can deal with that though,
We
right?
can deal with it. We can deal
because
with it.
all you have to say is Mia. You don't even have to give her last name. She is incredibly generous with her time and her talent. And, you know, I'm so fortunate that she considers me to be a friend. I love hanging out with her and those soccer players. And we're going to tell a story. If you watch the tape that's coming up next, you will see and hear Mia talking about me playing soccer. It's not a pretty sight. I mean, I just took a header for you, Mia. I just took a header. All right.
You did.
All right. So, William, send it over to Mia because enough of me talking. I can't wait to listen to it over again myself. It never gets old getting a chance to spend time with your dear friends, and especially somebody that has a celebrity of Mia Hamm. So Mia, thank you once again this year for participating with us on our live stream for 24 hours of nothing but net.
Hey, it's great to be back, Debbie, and it's so awesome what you do, and I'm just grateful to be a part of it, to help support you.
My friends that know me well know that I'm a big fangirl over you. I love our friendship, and I love spending time with you and hanging out with you. Um, I know that there's so many different directions we could go in discussing a lot of things about sport, but I want to know from you, like, what's your year been like, and how's the Peloton treating you?
The years, you know, for like a lot of people, it's had its challenges. I didn't think I would add third grade teacher to my resume, but here we are. And, so grateful that, my son's back in school now and that he has someone that's much more qualified than myself, kind of uh, involved in his education. But I have to say, our kids have been fantastic. I think they've, we've become closer as a family and really kind of realized what's important and what you can live with and what you really don't need. And so, just trying to help them manage this. It's been stressful, especially on our young people, just socially about, uh, you know, kind of making sure that their needs are met. And, I talked to our girls' kind of advisors yesterday with regards to academics, and I said, to be honest, I'm not really concerned about their grades. I'm more concerned about their health and wellness, and that we kind of get through on the other side, just whole as we can.
It's interesting, and it's an interesting topic because, part of the reason why I'm doing this fundraiser is because Special Olympics needs money to organize and to train and to gather. And during this pandemic and time, think about, our kids that have the opportunity to maybe get together or gather in a small group. And then think about a Special Olympic athlete who doesn't have the resources to be able to do that. That's why your participation and your help means so much to what we're trying to do.
No, and I, we were, when we came out to South Carolina and did the camp with Frankie and his buddies, you see the passion and the love that they have through sport. And, sport has taught us, you and I, so many lessons. And it's done the same, if not more, for Frankie and his buddies.
Mhm.
Just to see their growth and their confidence, um, rise just in that small clinic we did, and the importance of understanding and finding themselves and finding value in that time is incredibly important. So any way we can continue to support you and what you're doing in Special Olympics, I'm here for sure.
Well, I can't thank you enough. It means so much to, have someone like you to come and talk about why it's important because there's so many people that respect and admire what you've accomplished. And then on another level, you've taken that platform to be able to help families like mine and help families that need a little extra through all the different things that you've done, not just through Special Olympics, but your own foundation, Mia. You want to talk a little bit about your foundation?
Yeah, I mean, we I stand on the shoulders of so many before me, and I didn't get where I was with regards to my career on my own. So I feel a responsibility to pay it forward, and especially, people that are close to me that I admire, that I look up to, like you, and so many of my friends and teammates. You've been an incredible supporter of my foundation, coming up every year uh, to Chapel Hill and playing in the golf tournament. And, the foundation was just like nothing but net. It's personal. I saw my older brother and my parents have to deal with the uncertainty of his bone marrow failure disease and not knowing if they could find a marrow donor. Um, we were unfortunate with regards to his bone marrow transplant was successful, but he died from a fungal infection. But I know the work of our foundation is helping so many people, whether it's getting them registered in the National Marrow Donor Program or providing support like in Chapel Hill with the SECU House at UNC Hospital of families going through bone marrow transplants as a place for them to gather that's safe and healthy, not only for the patient, but their families as well.
And I know you've been involved in the Lineberger Cancer Center as well over at North Carolina, which is a wonderful place to help people. Is a golf tournament coming back this fall?
It is September, I believe, 23rd, 24th.
Writing it down right now.
Right.
Got it.
Get your foursome, get your fivesome.
Get ready. I'm getting ready. I'll get my group together and we'll definitely come over and help support you. Mia, there's a couple of different things I want to ask you. Like, I have to remind everyone that I did have a hat trick playing soccer with you on your soccer team. And I did get a major contusion on my leg from trying to slide tackle, which you told me after the fact. I probably shouldn't have been doing that. Right.
No,
but I'm
no,
sure,
no.
When Tish Venturini
pick up games you don't slide tackle. It's just not worth it.
Well, I've learned that now. I'm becoming a soccer aficionado. I happen to be working out, watching your soccer team and your MLS team in LA play. You got some good players on that team, Mia. You're a good scout. You're a good GM. You're a good owner. You got it all working.
Yeah, I can't take credit for the signing of players, but we play an attractive style of soccer, and it's fun to be a part of that, to see the game grow. And then, I'm part of an ownership group with Angel City, so it's the new NWSL, the Women's Professional League, and we kick off next summer. And I'm able to do that with Julie and Tish and Abby Wambach. So many players that have played on the national team or played in previous leagues that either call Southern California home or have grown up in this area and really been the foundation of soccer going forward. So I'm really excited about that.
One of the things about Angel City that is impressive to me is that it is a bunch of owners that have come together and a lot of celebrity. And how is women's soccer able to do that? Like, how have you been able to galvanize all of your resource, all of your celebrity, all of the names to be able to put together an ownership group that really wants to promote women's sports and why it's important?
Well, Angel City is Natalie Portman, Julie Ehrman, and Kara Nortman. I mean, the three of them. I ran into Kara after the women's final in France, and she kind of says, "Hey, I want to start a women's team in LA," and in the Lyon airport, and I'm like, "I don't even know who you are." Like, sure, I'll email you. But then fast forward and to see where we are today as a group and to see their vision kind of being put together. And then you have Alexis Ohanian and Serena Williams. My teammates just really bringing so many people together and using our strengths to make us the best club we possibly can.
I think it's really cool to have that many celebrities involved in a women's sport that are trying to push the meter forward, like trying to get other celebrities that are interested in ownership. And that's an important thing, to have somebody like you to represent the game. That's great. I want to shift gears with you a little bit about North Carolina, about your coach, Anson Dorrance, and Carolina soccer. And also I want to ask you about Roy Williams retiring. I know he's a good friend of yours.
Yeah. No, I was surprised as anyone to see him step down. He's just an incredibly thoughtful and decent and kind human being. He he loves Carolina and he loves doing it the right way. So to see the honesty with regards of why he stepped down, I think tells you everything you need to know about him as a person, is that the program in Carolina came first. And if he didn't feel he could take it to where it needed to be, he wanted to step back. I'm going to miss seeing him on the sideline. But now he can't say he can't play in the golf tournament, because we usually, it's right around the time they start their preseason. So, I'm excited to see him out there. He always finds a way to make it in for the picture and come say hello to all of us. And just always grateful for his time. But I'm excited about Hubert Davis. Hubert, I teased him. He's, I think, 2 years ahead of me at Carolina. And I went to Lake Braddock High School in Northern Virginia and Burke, Virginia for a year and a half. And that's where he graduated from. So I was like, listen, I'm following you to Carolina. And he's just one of those people that you want him to call you a friend, because he's just one of those stellar human beings. And I know he'll do everything in his power to make Carolina what we all know and what we love about it to be. So I'm incredibly happy for him.
One of the greatest brands in all of sport is Carolina basketball. It should be really exciting to see what Coach Davis can do with Coach Williams retiring. But, Coach Williams has a house down here in Sullivan's Island, and he's a member of Bulls Bay. So maybe we can twist his arm and get him to take us, Bulls Bay. I know you've played Bulls Bay with me before, the golf course. Mia is an outstanding golfer and a competitive golfer on the golf course. And I think I'm wondering if you're a bigger trash talker when you're playing golf or when you're playing soccer.
No, much more when I play soccer, because at least I know what I'm doing. Golf, I get lucky every now and then. So I know where I sit on the golf course, and I see the same alligator is on the course based on the pictures that you posted. I don't know if he has a name.
Teenagers out there.
Yeah, I remember
There's
when we played
baby
there.
gators. Yeah, they're all over the place, Mia. I mean, you could come around the corner on a golf course on the cart, and there's one right there on the bank.
That's crazy.
I can't wait for you to come down and play golf with me again at Bulls Bay. That'll be fun. Since we were talking about North Carolina basketball, I absolutely love the Gatorade commercial with you and Michael Jordan, since we're talking about putting and golf. And take us behind the scenes on that. I know you've been friends with MJ for a long time, but take us behind the scenes on the shooting of that commercial.
Well, I got the call basically saying they were going to remake the commercial. And they're like, you're going to do a little cameo. And this was done, I'd probably say 4 months ago. And so I was like, yeah, I'm in. How are we going to shoot this? And at first it was going to be in my backyard in front of a green screen. I'm like, okay. And then they couldn't get a permit. So we had to go out to the Dignity Health soccer, center. And we just shot on a backfield in front of a green screen. And they showed me what they had shot with Hussein and Abby, and then what they had shot out there with MJ. And they were like, all you have to do is, we did a couple different angles. And I was like, this should be awesome. And what was really cool was sitting there, and I knew it was going to be at the very end of the commercial. And no one in my family knew that I had done it. And so we're watching the commercial, and then they show me and MJ at the very end, and my girls are like, wait, is that you? And I said, yeah. They're like, when did you do that? I was like, oh, I don't know, a couple months ago. And, but they were more excited the fact that I was in a commercial with Abby. They thought that was really cool.
And I was excited that you were in a commercial with MJ.
Just shows how old we are, Debbie. Just shows how old we are.
You mentioned your girls and your son Garrett. Last time we spoke, you were struggling with tennis balls and lacrosse balls going over the neighbor's wall and taking a few days to return. I was wondering if your kids are still throwing the ball against the house and still playing lacrosse and tennis. And it's interesting because you and Nomar are bay soccer players, and your kids are playing some other things. I think it's cool.
Yeah, no, we've upgraded, especially during quarantine. We bought a lacrosse net and a rebounder. So there's a lot less balls that go over the fence. One, because they actually have a net to shoot into, but probably because she's older and better. But it's been it's been a lot of fun to kind of see them find their own ways. One of our girls plays softball and golf, and she jumped back into it once they opened things up, and just to see her joy and confidence, like, I mean, she can hit. Like, she gets into the box, she's like her dad. She's swinging at the first pitch. She's like, I just want to hit. And we talk about the importance of sports, but so much is that personal growth and confidence, and to see them develop that and really grow. I mean, that for us as parents is the thrill to see when they work hard at something, and they see the benefits of that hard work. And now we're able to kind of go out and watch them play. They're playing games, and so that's been a lot of fun for us. And I think, as we started the conversation, we've all found almost like a newfound love and joy for what we get to do, and the opportunities that we have.
That's bringing it back full circle, Mia, because that's exactly where we started talking about, your family and mine, and the mental health and the ability to play, and why playing is so important. And that's why we're doing this fundraiser, so we can provide some funds for Special Olympic athletes to train and compete and to gather. And I can't thank you enough for taking the time to share some of your thoughts about why those things are important to Special Olympics, and why you and Nomar and your family personally support this event.
Yeah, no, it's sports has changed our lives, and it's enabled us to, go to school, be professional athletes, but more importantly, be able to give back. And so we're grateful to support you and Frankie and all of his buddies to continue to grow and find joy in playing sports.
It's an honor to spend some time with you, Mia. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, Debbie. Good luck. You got this.
All right, everybody, welcome back to 24 Hours of Nothing But Net. Debbie, yet again, we have some superstars with us. They are movie stars, TV stars, successful producers, successful writers, outrageous sketch comedians, all around good people. How could we do better? How could we score better than John Ducey and Christina Moore?
Yay.
They are. Christina, again, I will just read with your friends. You don't always know their resume. So I pull up your bio and I'm like, wow, they're even more successful than I knew. So Christina was on the Disney show Jessie, that 70s show, Mad TV. Oh my gosh, hilarious on Claus. I love your character on Claus. The movies Without a Paddle, Delta Farce. John Ducey, also outrageously famous. He was on Caroline in the City, Will and Grace. A lot of lists, but we're going to come back to this one. You're in Space Jam.
The original.
Yeah. He was the father of the Jonas Brothers on, was the show called Jonas? Creatively named Jonas. So we get on the Jonas Brothers. And now they are writing and producing together, I think. Are you doing projects together?
Yes, we are.
And they're kind of sports related.
A lot of them have been sports related, yeah, with motocross and off-road truck racing, then some rodeos, romances, circle track. Yeah, there's been a lot of sports kind of things. Yes.
Well, Christina, you joined us last year, and we appreciate you joining us again. I liked what Debbie was saying right before we went on the air, Debbie, about people who give us their time and come back, and how much we appreciate that.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, you supported us last year, and here we are, year 3, and we just keep on rolling. We're trying to grow and get bigger, and you've helped us do all that to benefit Special Olympics. So there's a lot of families and a lot of young athletes that'll benefit from the money we'll raise and the awareness that we create. Thanks to you guys.
Oh, thank you. I was totally impressed. I knew where was the original goal? Because you just far surpassed it last year. I was watching just hour after hour, like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah, we wanted to raise $100,000 and we raised 125. So during a pandemic, we thought that was exceptional. So you know what, John and Christina, we're like, I like to say we can use the M word now. We've raised $250,000. So we got
that's what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how makes us feel like we're big time too. We're successful producers now too, Debbie.
Yeah. I always wonder, Dina's in charge. She just tells me what to do, and she gets all these brilliant people to come on and help us raise money. It's awesome.
Well, I feel like Debbie's also she's the lead of the movie. She's out there shooting the hoops. So she's talent.
Exactly. That's how we were having the conversation earlier with another actor, producer friend of mine, like, which side do you like to end on? Do you like acting more? Do you like producing more? And I'm like, well, when I'm acting, I kind of want to be producing because I see mistakes going on. I'm like, oh, I can do that. But when you're producing, you're like, I kind of just want to be the actor, learning my lines and having somebody bring me lunch.
Yep.
Do you guys feel the same way?
Both are good. Yeah, there's all those perks that come with acting of you're special for the whole day. But you're so much more control. Yeah, it's great to be in control when you're writing and producing. Yeah, and know the story you want to tell and tell it. That's the best part.
Yeah, I think the way I like to think of it is that producing, it's like you're the wedding planner, and as the actor, you're the bride. Both have a big job to do.
Both have a big role.
Both have a big role. So, I think the only difference I feel like is once you've produced and now you've thrown the whole wedding and you're responsible for 100 people, being an actor is she's off. I only have to worry about one person. I'm only responsible for this. Yeah, that's very, very much easier.
Yes, cheese off means easy in Christina speak.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Okay. I was going, what is she talking about? Thank you for translating.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around here a while.
Okay, so obviously one of our heroes in the basketball world is Michael Jordan. You worked with him in Space Jam, and you worked with Bugs Bunny. Come on. I
kind of was Bugs Bunny. So me and 5 other people were the cartoon characters on the set. Uh-huh. So for 10 weeks, we ran around as I was mostly Foghorn Leghorn because I was the tallest of the 6 of us. So this is motion capture, Debbie. This is
before he became a super celebrity with his face, he was doing motion capture, I suppose.
Yeah, this is mid '90s, so this is 100 years ago.
Yeah, you're taking a green unitard, right?
I was wearing green head to toe, like a green face mask. You only see my eyes. Yeah, with the dots and everything, and yeah, we were his eye lines for all of his cartoon scenes. It was a great summer. And then we would go down. They had built a special basketball dome for him to practice in when he wasn't shooting. So we would get to go and like watch NBA people come and play basketball on the lot. It was great.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I mean, like they built a separate place during the whole filming of it, so he could have a place to work out, right?
It was part of the deal, yeah. Like a whole workout side, and then a full size court to run up and down.
I know Space Jam 2 is coming out soon, but I don't know. I mean, I'm a Michael Jordan. You know, that's when our kids were being born. It's a franchise that our kids grew up on.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a Chicago girl too, so she's always going to be a Michael Jordan lover, but it won't be the same. It'll be different, but yeah, it's good for makes more people watch Space Jam the original. That Space Jam 2 is coming out, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's true. People go back and watch, and you'll get that mailbox money.
Little mailbox money, and I am in it for a split second when they shut down the NBA. They gave me a one part on camera. I'm standing behind the commissioner of the fake commissioner, the movie commissioner of the league. Yeah. So look for me. I look very young.
So I want to tell you guys, and you probably have experienced this. The way I got involved in Special Olympics originally was in California when I was on iCarly. You both did kids shows.
Oh yeah,
I did iCarly as well.
Oh yeah,
did one episode.
Right. I saw that on your resume. I totally forgot.
Yeah, it was the second to last episode. I was so excited.
You were on.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That's how. And Christine, you were Jesse. Is that right?
Yeah.
You were on a kids show too. But so I ended up, because a lot of people who watch kids shows, there would be Make-A-Wish Foundation and Special Olympics came through one time, and they were watching the live filming of iCarly, like 10 Special Olympics athletes. Sure. They were talking about their coaches, and I was talking to the person who brought them, and they said, we're always looking for coaches. And I said, well, I ran track it in college. I could coach. And so that's how I got involved. And then when I moved to South Carolina, I just called Special Olympics up again and said, hey, I want to do stuff. But that's like my favorite acting thing is doing the kids shows, so that I got to do those sorts of things, to be more involved in charitable organizations involving children.
Awesome.
Yeah, there was a lot of the different races that we made. I mean, the movies are not documentaries. They are films that just feature things that happen in the race. But a big part of those race series is that they all have a specific charity, because it's the same thing. Like for a kid has cancer, or like the Ronald McDonald House in town, they would all get to come to the motocross track or then come to the movie set. Like that was a big part of that world. Different. Like you may want to go see a Hollywood show, or you really want to just go watch motocross or that kind of thing.
I think that's amazing. I know you're both so philanthropic, and I was thinking when you were talking about that analogy about the bride and having the wedding, Christina, I was just thinking about the whole creation of this event from the very beginning. When I said this was something that I thought that I could do, I was strictly thinking about exactly that if I can just go in my driveway and shoot by myself, I don't have to worry about anybody else. I don't have to run a 3-on-3 tournament or get a bunch of other outside organizations. I can just try it. I think I can do it. This is what I'm going to do. And we just continue to grow and raise more money. And it's really exciting. And, the training, I mean, sure, I benefit from the training, right? Because I could use the fitness and the training anyway. But man, it's tough as we get closer to, actually getting ready to do it. The anxiety is like walking down the aisle.
It is, yeah.
Trying to get ready to get to the altar, and then actually performing. You guys, are you past all that anxiety stuff in your careers? Like, do you get nervous about what you do?
Yeah, Yeah, that never stops. There's always first day jitters and all that stuff. You find a groove when you're going, but yeah, first day, they're not sleeping the night before.
Oh yeah.
Waking up early, and you're always meeting new people, and so that's always a little stressful and like, how's it going to be? And remembering everyone's names and all the things that come with like being on a new set and doing the things. We still feel it. I still feel it. You probably do too.
Now, Debbie, they're really building a team. Every time they're doing a movie, they're producing it, they're writing it, and they pull in an entire team, just like you're doing for this 24 Hours to Nothing But Net.
Well, it's challenging. It's fun. The end result, we know, hopefully is going to be very successful and productive, meaning that there are going to be a lot of kids that are going to get to play through Special Olympics. And this is what we're doing. We're trying to fund opportunities for them to train and compete and create some programming. I always say special education is the least funded in the first cut and directly related to Special Olympics. And this population of people, I know from my son, just trying to socialize and organize with friends during this COVID time has been really challenging. They can't organize on their own, so they need help, and that's what we're doing. We're trying to help them organize so they can play.
Love it.
So great.
So
Christina, I know you're super fit. You exercise a lot. You say you're not athletic, but I think that might be an exaggeration. But I don't know John's history.
No,
not athletic. Yeah,
she is not athletic. That is.
Oh, you're agreeing. She's not. Oh, that's nice.
She is fit, but no, don't throw her something. You're likely to hit her in the nose. So.
I can't. My eye-hand coordination is terrible.
That's hilarious.
No, and I played sports in high school, and I played baseball in college for a couple of years before I switched over to just be an actor and study things. So yeah, I have a long sport.
My husband played baseball in college too. He went to Columbia University, played in New York City, played baseball.
I went to Harvard, so.
Wow! Awesome.
We are rivals.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's how. So a lot of the things that we do for Special Olympics, people always know that we're talking about sporting events. They know the marquee events that they see, but a lot of the money that we're raising also goes, especially during COVID, to keep Special Olympians in touch with the organization, and also healthcare and getting them their medical appointments, making sure they're able to attend them, and making sure they have those and training for jobs and those sorts of things as well. So it's not just the sports you guys are helping out with.
Awesome.
Yay.
Debbie, I wanted you to tell them about Clemson Life and what Frankie's up to. It's so cool.
Oh, yeah. So my son, and Christina, you met Frankie last year, but John, this is Frankie.
Awesome. Love it.
He is a senior in the Clemson Life program. Clemson University has a post-secondary college experience for students with intellectual disability. And so he is a full-time college student. His classes would be like nutrition, an apartment class, a fitness class, how to do things on your phone, a relationship class, how to get along in social settings and things like that. And it's a transitional life skills program. So it's really amazing. He has a job. He is a basketball manager for the women's team. He is in a fraternity. He is on an intramural basketball team. And it's just absolutely phenomenal. Like when he was born, he's 23. College wasn't an option for people like Frankie or families like ours. And it is absolutely amazing. And more post-secondary educational experiences are starting to pop up all across the country. And I know, because we're a sports family, that sports plays such an important role in his overall well-being, and Special Olympics directly impacted us.
That's great. I was not aware that there were post-secondary programs. Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's really cool. He lives with 2 other Clemson Life students, and they have their own community. They live in an apartment complex with all the other college students, and he has learned how to live independently, and it's absolutely
amazing. Gosh, wow.
It's amazing.
It is phenomenal. I mean, like every family that gets a chance to experience this comes away with their kids coming away from college like you want your kids to, being mature and be able to live independently and get a job and be able to make good choices. I ask my boys, we've got 3, please make good choices every day. Every day, that's the message. But it's it's phenomenal. And Clemson is a real leader in this area. It's you know, it's funded by the parents and by donations to run the Clemson Life program, but there's only an 11% acceptance rate for families like mine that apply to Clemson. That's 89% of families like mine that don't get this experience. So we need more programs to pop up. And the more we can, you know, inclusion and diversity is not just about race or religion. It's about, you know, adding the people that have some sort of intellectual disability or a special ability, and including everyone with differences, and not just accepting them and being more tolerant, but including them. You know, that's what I really want to do and what I want to help accomplish for Special Olympics. And you're helping us do that.
Yay.
Wow.
You're like, we're awesome to help.
We are.
We are
We've done a lot today. We didn't realize.
No,
Who knew? You didn't know you were accomplishing so much. Christina, last year when we talked to you, you had 2 movies out that were trending on Netflix, Lady Driver and Roach, but you have new movies since then, right? Let's plug those and talk about those a little.
Yes, we had a movie that came out in November on Netflix called Wheels of Fortune. It is a big comedy. John and I are both in it. John wrote it. It is technically rated R, just for, you know, kids, or it's language, that's all. But it is a good fun time.
It's a romp.
It's a romp.
Yeah.
Do we have other?
And it's got racing in it too.
Oh, it
as well.
does,
We took all our racing experience and we made a comedy out of a racing story.
Yeah, kind of like a Talladega Nights.
I like it.
That would be
Yeah.
the kind of thing you're getting yourself into.
Yeah.
And it's on Netflix?
On Netflix, yeah.
On Netflix now, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's our big one.
That's
We
fantastic.
start shooting this week on a new one, but won't be out maybe at Christmas-ish time. We'll see. We'll have to come back and tell you next year where to
Can we
find
talk
it.
about it or not talk about it?
Yeah.
We can talk about it or not talk about it.
No, we can talk about it. It's a romance. You give the elevator pitch.
A girl who's about to turn 30 has her life fall apart, loses her boyfriend and her job, and goes back to hang out with her mom. Well, she also breaks her ankle while her ankle heals. And her mom signs her up for a cooking class where she maybe falls in love. So it's a little cooking
up romance.
That we've tried all those puns. It turns out a lot of them have been taken by Lifetime. Like dishing up love and cooking up love. And
So this year, as we're growing our production, we have a tagline. We have copyrighted a tagline. And so, Christina, I know you aren't necessarily a huge sports fan. So before I say it, I just want to say that the free throw line, you know, Debbie's shooting free throws to raise money. The free throw line is also known as the charity stripe. Mm-hmm. And so our tagline is, we don't call it the charity stripe for nothing.
That's a winner.
That is. High comedy. Good comedy.
So see, you think we're serious too, but no, we're in the process this year of adding comedy as well.
Yeah, and you're gonna send like the thing so I can make a little video, right? Like with the hashtags or the, you know, please include this or that kind of story.
Oh yeah, we'll send you anything you need to help us promote the show. And we have a video promotion from you last year that we were going to ask you if we can use again this year as well.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I'll follow up and thank you guys so much for being here. You have no idea how much it helps. We promote superstars to get people to watch the show and to donate, and we hope it keeps working as well as it did last year. Talk about a little bit of pressure.
Well, thanks for including me. Yeah, now if it doesn't do well, it's my fault.
That's right. Now we'll know. John Ducey.
Tank the whole.
Or next year, if you do it again, we'll know to put you in mocapture. Some sort of outfit.
Put Foghorn
Run
Leghorn
around as Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That is so cool. That is so great. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
Are they coming to me? Are we doing a mic check or a fax? Just to, okay. Okay, the next guest that we have is my dear friend, Hope Banks. Hope Banks is a Special Olympic athlete, and her mom and dad, Reed and Jenny Banks, are huge supporters of not just Special Olympics, but Clemson Life. Hope was a student at Clemson Life, and is part of the reason why I decided that, maybe Frankie could go to Clemson and learn to live independently, and I appreciate the Banks for helping us with that transition. But if you listen to this interview, Hope's going to give you a few secrets. Hope actually told us how you can sneak into the president's suite at Clemson for a football game. Take a listen.
So pleased my dear friend Hope Banks could join us on 24 Hours of Nothing But Net. Hope, you are such a rock star. I'm so glad you made time in your busy work schedule to be able to do this with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So tell me about your job. How's your job going?
My job is doing great. Doing housekeeping. I am working at the Dominion in Patrick Square. It's been I've been working hard, and I'm just doing so great.
You are one of my role models and inspirations, Hope. You know that, right? I mean, we go way
Yes.
back, right? You and we're tight. We've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
You are part of the reason why Frankie is at Clemson in the Clemson Life program, because your mom kept picking on me about why Frankie needed to go. You remember that?
Yes.
I was afraid to let him go, and she was saying, look what Hope's doing. What are some of the fun things that you did at Clemson in the Clemson Life program that you could share with us?
We do a lot of fun stuff. So we do like going to football games, basketball games, and soccer, softball, baseball. We do a lot of fun stuff, and it's just a lot of fun. Like just hang out with friends and do a lot of cool stuff.
How many times during the football season do you get into the president's box to watch the game from the press box?
Well, sometimes I get invited from the president because the last time when I was up there, Miss Erica was up there, and we got to go into the box and we got to walk a little bit, and then we got to watch the football game, and it was just awesome.
Sometimes the president invites you up there, and then sometimes, I don't want to say you sneak up there, but you know how to get through the press box elevator, don't you?
Yes, I do. Cause I know their daughter Grace Crimmins really well, and I sometimes would tell them that I'm Grace's friend, and they just know that I can just get in.
Yeah, I'm going to use that next time I'm at Clemson. I'm going to tell the elevator operator that I'm Grace's friend and I'm Hope's friend. Maybe that'll get me in the press box. You think?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you can try.
So Hope, tell me about your experience with going to class at Clemson. I know you love the football games, but what is something else that you learned at Clemson Life that you use every day?
So we kind of talked about like transportation, how to be independent, like learn how to cook, like most other students do a lot of like cooking classes, and it's just been fun, and we get to do like different things, different recipes, and we get to do like a lot of cool stuff.
Would you say you're somebody that has a lot of independence?
Yes.
Would you say that you are somebody that has a lot of confidence?
Yes.
Are you someone that has a lot of friends?
Yes.
I think you know everybody at Clemson. Do you know everyone at Clemson?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. You know all the people that work at Clemson. You know all the students. You've got so many friends. It's pretty cool, isn't it?
It is.
Where do you think you got all that confidence to be independent and to make friends? Where did that come from?
It kind of came from when I had to. Well, it's been kind of hard because my mom had to drop me off, and I mean, like a lot of parents don't get a lot of confidence in themselves because they don't know how to work with their kid. But I just somehow, like, when I first, because like if your mom can contact you, but when I called my mom, I had so much confidence in myself that I finally called my mom for the first time, and she felt so much happy, and she just like what was happy in tears.
I know your mom is a special friend of mine. I love your mom. She is such a good person, and she has helped you and helped me realize that it's okay to let your students go to Clemson and learn how to be college students, right?
Right?
Yeah. So when I think about you being confident and being so athletic, because I know you're a really good athlete, I also think that you make really good, healthy choices about what you eat, don't you? Like you eat
Yes.
salad every day? Do you eat fruit every day? What do you eat?
I do eat fruit. I eat a lot of vegetables. I've been drinking water. Um, I'm just been eating so much heavier than I'm supposed to, and so I've been doing everything to make me strong.
Do you think Special Olympics helped you become stronger and think about eating healthy and being confident?
Yes. I just been doing a lot of eating habits, and I've just been doing a lot of like sports, like Special Olympics wise, and I'm just been doing like I done Special Olympics tennis. I did gymnastics. I'm just like it just makes me strong, and it's just the best way to do.
I agree with you. I think when you can play sports, and everyone should be able to play, it doesn't matter whether you have special abilities or not, but getting a chance to play sports has helped you become independent and be confident and learn to be strong and make healthy choices, don't you think?
Yes.
So if somebody was watching this and they saw Hope Banks and they knew Hope Banks was a Special Olympic athlete and they were thinking about whether they should give some money, what would you tell them?
Um, I would tell them that everything, this, just everything.
Yeah, that you think Special Olympics helped you in all those areas?
Yes, it helps me a lot, and sorry, it helps me a lot, and it's just like the best way to get stronger, and I mean, everyone should get a chance to be in the sport, and it's just been awesome.
You and Frankie are friends. When you think about seeing Frankie on campus, when you're hanging out with your buddies or you're going to a football game or you're at the tailgate, is Frankie behaving?
Oh, yes, I know he is.
Are you sure?
Yes, I know he is.
You sure he's not getting in any trouble?
I know he's not. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, I know he's been doing what he's been supposed to be doing. So, yeah.
How about you? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing?
Yes, I am.
Even though you're sneaking into the press box?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of you, Hope. I'm
Thank
really
you.
proud of you. I'm proud of all the wonderful things that you're doing at Clemson and what Clemson Life has helped you become, how strong and powerful you are, and what a good role model you are for so many other Special Olympic athletes.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming on with us.
You're welcome.
I hope your mom and dad are going to watch this and they're going to see you. I didn't tell them I was interviewing you. It's a surprise. What do you think your mom's going to say?
I don't know. I just feel like that she should be like excited, but she doesn't know I'm doing this. So I tried to call her earlier today, but she didn't pick up because she has to take care of my dad.
She's too busy, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't wait to come up to Clemson and see you again.
Me too.
We can hang out over there at Patrick Square, right?
Right.
I love that pizza place over there.
Oh, George Pizza?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one, isn't it?
it is.
All right, Hope. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
$52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 84. 85. 86. Oh, 87. 88. 89. 90.
Back in the house.
91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 'How many I missed? 5? Okay. All right. Woo. 5. Okay, thanks. Okay. Lacey Evans, WWE. Huge media following on social media and regular media, and I know you got a lot of fans here, Lacey, that are excited to be able to spend some time with you. So thank you so much for joining us on 24 Hours of Nothing But Net.
No, thank you. I mean, I was just watching you, and there is no way I could make any of those.
Well, that's okay. I don't think I could jump off the top rope and hammer somebody either.
Well, maybe you can teach me, and I'll teach you a couple things.
That's a fair deal. Now, you are very popular. A lot of the guys around here have been talking about you. We've been excited about getting a chance to see you. Tell us why you're so passionate about Special Olympics.
You know, because when I started with WWE, it was one of the first events that I got to actually partake in. And it was one of my first doing anything with Special Olympics, to be honest with you, in my whole life. So one of the first things I got to do was like a cornhole tournament. And the drive that those awesome individuals have is incredible. I mean, it's mind blowing because, you know, a lot of people, they look at people that's in the Special Olympics and they assume so much stuff, but they can be no more wrong. Like these kids and these young adults and these human beings have such a motivation that is, I mean, it's unmatched. And I also got to coach a Special Olympics basketball game. And I'm telling you something right now, those motivators were out there ready to win. And they just blow me away. They're motivated, and I feel like they don't get the credit that they deserve. They work so incredibly hard, just like everybody in the world. And you know, and they're just amazing athletes. So being able to see that firsthand for the first time is awesome. And I think everybody in the world should take part or watch or do whatever they can just to get a little taste of what the Special Olympics is and what these motivators, and I keep calling them motivators because that's what they are. I mean, you know it as well as I do. They're unstoppable. They're like driven, and their eye is on a target. And it was just incredible to watch and see. And so I just love being part of it.
Well, you know, we're in the middle of a marathon here, a free throw shooting marathon, so you can understand probably some of the training and the fitness that it's required for me to be ready to be able to take on this task. Can you tell us a little bit about what your normal fitness routine is like when you're getting ready for the season?
Well, it never stops for WWE superstars. It's year round. Unfortunately, there is no season and like off breaks. We are constantly traveling the world. And I think that is kind of like the hardest part of preparing for week after week. I mean, we're on the road over 300 days a year. So the hardest part about preparing for year round competition is the travel, because we are stopping at hotels and city after city, state after state, jumping different countries to perform live. So we have to juggle the training in the middle of flights and travel time and in rental cars. So we have to get workouts when we can and eat the best we can being on the road, and work out. And it's full body. You can't just train one thing and be ready. It's endurance, it's physical ability, it's mobility, it's flexibility, and then you throw in the acting side of it and having to learn how to have that confidence to speak in front of cameras and on cue. So it's a lot, but you know, and it's year round. We just have to schedule it out and have a lot of motivation. Just like all them athletes at the Special Olympics, we have to be motivated and disciplined physically and mentally to do so.
You know what, your travel schedule and the way you prep sounds a lot of very similar to what I do when we're traveling the college basketball landscape for ESPN, working games and trying to be prepared, and you got all the travel that comes with it. I want to ask you what, when you get to a city and you're ready to have an event at night, what's your normal day like?
For me personally, it's a little different than most. I'm a mother, so I homeschool my daughter, and she travels the world with me. So depending on what day it is, and her school lessons that need to be done, we normally start our day with kind of early morning school lessons. And then we go out and about the town. I let her explore, and my husband will take over at that point as I break away in the midday to go off to train before I actually get backstage to prepare to perform at each given city. So mine's a little weird because I also have to juggle the mom side and the school side, and actually making time for my daughter to see the world and explore as well. But I'll make sure to get up before her, and I'll get a workout in before, and then I'll get a secondary one to loosen up and get ready to get in the ring and go live by that night around 7:30. So, but once again, as you know, it just takes discipline mentally and physically to make all of that happen.
So Lacey, I get this question asked all the time about trying to balance career and family, and we have 3 boys. You know, my son Frankie is our middle son. He's our son that is a Special Olympic athlete. How do you balance all of it with a career that's very public, that it requires incredibly physical demand, plus you want to have time with your daughter?
I put my family first, and you know as well as I do as a mother. Let's put the athlete aside. As a mother, we could not be the athletes that our companies need from us unless we are first and foremost the mothers and the wives that our families need us to be, because they are our why. They are our motivation, and without them, I mean, it wouldn't be that physical and mental motivation to get up, to work out, to train, to be prepared that night. We wouldn't have the gas. Like for me, my family is what gasses me up. So I put them first. I make sure that they have a smile on their face, and so when I plan my schedule, you know how it is. We've got fitness we have to do. We've got stretching. We've got flexibility. And then we actually have our performance side, and then throw in the eating. So it's a lot of planning. I carry planners. I write down everything. But the first thing in here is morning family, breakfast, schoolwork, and then I make sure everything after that is okay. Now what is needed of me as an athlete and as a performer? And I think that gives me the motivation I need is by putting my family first. And then once I can check that box off right about noontime when they're living their best life and feeling loved and happy and fed, then that's where my mindset as a mom and as an athlete kind of zooms in to, okay, well, now it's time to start ripping my muscles and getting ready for the show tonight. And that's where, that drive comes from. It's my family.
So, Lacey, I want to know, like, what sports did you play to prepare yourself for this career?
Wow. Well, I was in the United States Marine Corps, and I think that I can, really say that was probably what really got me ready for the mental side, because it's a mental tough. You could teach anybody how to actually wrestle. But the traveling and and taking initiative and the discipline to be up at 03 and flight by 5 and making venues and that the Marine Corps taught me to be prepared for anything at any given time. But I did wrestle in high school. I did amateur folk style and freestyle wrestling. I was 9th in the nation and 1st in the state. So the physical side, and that kind of like sport discipline I got from there. But once I joined the Marine Corps and once I got out, it gave me a level of confidence that prepared me to become a WWE superstar.
Okay, so are you a good guy or a bad guy most of the time?
Well, Lord, honey, I am a bad guy through and through. I tried the good guy part and I just couldn't cut it. I get too angry and I come from the South, and you know what they say about Southern women? We have sharp tongues, and I can't hold mine back.
Okay, so you're like, what's your signature move? Or like, what's something that you do? Like, do you jump off the top rope and smash somebody? Or how does that work? Do you throw them? Like we do some wrestling moves around our house. It's usually involving some sort of headlock and some sort of punching or, some kind of smash of somebody's head.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, bad guys do whatever they have to do in order to win. So opportunity, anything that I take advantage of any opportunity I have. So God forbid there's a kendo stick or a chair that I could smack somebody with, because I'll grab it, honey. But my finisher, the deadly woman's right, one of these bad boys to the face, and those nasty women aren't getting up.
The women's right. Give us an example of what that looks like. Is that just a pow or what is it?
It's kind of like that, but with a lot more force. Like when you piss off a Southern woman real bad and you spill her sweet tea, you just pack it right on in there. But that was close. You teach me how to throw some free throws, and I'll teach you how to give a good woman's right.
That's a deal. I'd like to learn how to give a good woman's right. Right in a kisser. That would be something I need to learn how to do.
All right, we got to get together.
Lacey, thank you. You are wonderful. We appreciate everything that you've done to help us grow our fundraising effort here. Last time I checked, we were at $144,000. We are just overwhelmed. Wait.
Wow.
Excuse me, I have an update. I'm hearing an update.
Uh-oh.
$151,000. Lacey, how about that news?
That is awesome. We do a lot in the ring to perform, but let me tell you what you're doing right now. I want to thank you because it's incredible to keep this program going and these athletes and these motivators out there doing what they do. So it's just awesome, and I just want to thank you so much.
For you, and when we get a chance to see you perform live, I guarantee you I'm going to be contacting you to try to find out how I get backstage so I can learn about that women's right.
All right, let's do it.
Thank you, Lacey. Lacey Evans from WWE, women's right. Keep an eye on her. She's a very popular wrestler. She's a bad guy, and I like that. All right. Okay, so we're going to do an interview right now with the ACC Network and ESPN. So they asked us if they could come to our live stream and do a little hit with us. So we're game for that for sure. Right? Yeah. Especially since we're at 151. Oh. Wow. That's amazing. All right, so William, you want me to just hang here and Okay, so this is how it works. Bristol, Connecticut is where the home base of ESPN is. I fortunately and gratefully have a contract with ESPN. I get to work with them for college basketball. I'm sure you know that if you're watching the live stream. And this is incredible that they would be interested in coming to us in the middle of the night in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, in the middle of our fundraiser. How many shots have I made? How many times have I shot? 9 or 10? So I've made 1,000. And what's my percentage before they come? What's it like around? I'm over 90? Okay, that's good enough. That's all I need to know.
Hey Debbie, it's Gina with ACC. Can you hear me?
Is that Kelsey?
This is Gina with ACC.
Oh,
can
yeah,
you hear me?
I can hear you, Regina, yes.
Hi. Yes, we will have Kelsey get on shortly to say hello.
Okay, great. Everybody gather around behind so you can get on ESPN. Bring your drinks, cocktails, it doesn't matter, all of it. Bring Wolfpack. Regina, did you say something else to me? Don't block the dish. Don't block the dish.
You hear me?
What?
92.3.
What?
92. 1,000 out of 1,083. 92.3.
Okay.
You want a water?
No, I'm good right now. I'm going to sit down after this. But I have to be able to hear Regina.
All right, Debbie. Wolfpack is on your right.
Hell yeah, Jack. You guys want in?
I'm right here.
You stand right here next to me. Come on. Get in.
Come on. Come on.
Come on, get in. The more the merrier. It's great. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Yes, we can see the dish.
Where do you want it?
You got your pajamas on? Come on, get in.
JB.
Debbie, how's it going? Hey, Frankie.
Debbie's tired.
Kelsey, I hear you.
I see you.
Thank you so much, Kelsey. I can't thank you enough for helping organize this. Cody, and I'm not sure who else was in on this, but thank you.
Oh my gosh, yes. I wish I was there standing in your driveway again.
I know, that was so cool, right? That was really fun, and I'm glad you were so we could talk about it.
Yeah. How's it going so far?
It's going great. We're at $151,000.
Amazing. Amazing.
And the cauldron's burning in the front yard. Our neighbors are all here, and friends are here, families here. And I'm shooting over 92% right now, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay, all right. And you started at noon, Debbie, is that right?
Yes, we started at noon.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think we're about ready to go on our end. Debbie, is there anything that you definitely want to hit on?
No, I just, it's all about Special Olympics and raising money. And, you know, you can see we're in the driveway. It's kind of cool.
Still got the crowd there. I like it.
We got a big crowd. A big drinking crowd, I might add, but we won't bring that up.
See, I told you that I wish that I was there.
Right. Thank you, Kelsey. I can't thank you enough for this.
Oh, of course, Debbie. We're happy to do it. It's amazing what you're able to do and all the money you raise.
Yeah, right here. Stand right next to me.
All right, stand by, Debbie. We're going to get started here.
Okay, great. This is how TV's done, guys. Stay right here with me. Can I do this? Can I?
And down in South Carolina, our very own Debbie Antonelli doing her annual fundraiser for the Special Olympics, trying to shoot 100 free throws every 24 hours. First year doing this, she shot 94%, but even more important than that, she has raised so much money for Special Olympics. Debbie there with her son Frankie right now. Debbie, last year I was there getting to see this live in action in your driveway. I'm so happy to see you're back doing it there again. I know you have just a crew around you that is so excited, but also a great cast of people that come and contribute throughout the time. Tell me so far, how's it going?
Well, Kelsey, first of all, thank you so much for coming here to Mount Pleasant to our driveway to share the news, the great news we have about Special Olympics. We're standing here right now at this hour with $151,000 for Special Olympics. And of course, you know, Frankie's my motivation. I've made 1,000 shots already. I'm shooting a little bit better than 92%, so pretty excited about my fitness and my training, but most importantly, the better I can shoot it, as you know, the better the story is for Special Olympics.
Certainly is, Debbie, and I mentioned the people that are behind you, but also I know you have a lot of guests that join you throughout this time that have really gotten behind not just what you're doing, but Special Olympics as well. What does that support mean to you to have? We're showing the list now, some of the names: Dabo Sweeney, Shane Beamer, Brad Burnell, the list just goes on and on.
Yeah, it's so meaningful, especially in our state, that the coaches in our state, South Carolina, want to be a part of this and use their platform to do good as well. And so joining with them and being partners with them is really important to us being able to raise more money for Special Olympics. And, you know, our social media and all the attention that this event draws really gives people an opportunity to get involved. And everyone should know that whatever they give and whatever they can give goes directly to help training and competition and allows the athletes to gather. And we need the money for programming, and that's exactly where it goes.
24 hours of nothing but net. You mentioned how well you're shooting, but the thing that always amazes me, Debbie, I mean, literally 24 hours, you just take a little rest and go, you train for this. What's the rest of the night going to be like?
Rehydration, maybe a change of shirt because I've been a little sweaty all day. You know, just a chance to stay fueled and stay motivated. And of course, this guy right here, Frankie, my son, who's a senior in the Clemson Life program, is a big part of my motivation. And we have an incredible team that has helped us get to this point. $151,000, Kelsey, and we still want to raise a lot more because it will directly impact the athletes.
People I know are going to be tuning in and following you. You're a baller. I know Frankie's a baller. I saw him last year out there shooting too. Debbie, can you guys, is there a ball around? Can you give us a shot on the way out?
Yeah, we can give you a shot. You want Frankie to shoot one?
I would love it. Frankie, yeah.
All right, here we go. Frankie, he's game. He's always game for some ball.
I saw him out there last year. He's always good. Let's see what we got, Frankie.
Frankie got the pressure on. Can he do it? Oh, just a little short. How about another try? One more try, Kelsey.
Yeah, give us one more.
Come on, Frankie.
Look at the behind the rim camera there and all, Debbie.
Oh yeah, this is first class. Oh.
Oh, my guy Frankie. That was awesome. You keep shooting on the way out. I know that it's always a good time, Debbie, and we certainly appreciate it. Hey! Being a part of it as Frankie sends it there. Clutch at the buzzer, just like his mom.
Thank you, Kelsey. We really appreciate you coming to us live in our driveway and helping us raise some money and some awareness for Special Olympics.
That was amazing. Frankie, 2 thumbs up. Debbie, amazing stuff as always. We appreciate having a little chat with you. Y'all have fun.
Thanks, Kelsey. Frankie! Awesome.
That was awesome. Thank you, Debbie. Frankie, thank you. Nothing like being put on the spot, but I knew he was up for it.
Kelsey, Frankie is always up for it, and as you know, we appreciate you doing this, and especially being here last year. That gave you a chance to see what we were doing. You know, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. Very cool, Debbie. Well, good luck the rest of the night. I will be tuning in the morning and seeing how it's going and where you're at. I know you're going to keep crushing it.
We miss you. We wish you were here, but thank you so much. That really means a lot.
Thank you. Me too. Y'all have fun.
Okay. Thanks, Kelsey. That's
okay, bye-bye.
Kelsey Riggs from the ACC Network, one of my colleagues that I work with during the college basketball season, and she's actually a James Island resident here in the Lowcountry, and she lives up in Bristol now, and she's a superstar. She has done phenomenal things, especially I know how smart she is and I know how hard she works, and she's done a terrific job on the women's college basketball season this year. So what do we have next, William? Luke Nestled?
Executive producer of Real Housewives.
Okay.
Just giving you an idea of how to bring more viewers to the...
Is it time for me to shoot already? No.
a star among stars, a celebrity among celebrities here on 24 Hours of Nothing But Net. This is our good friend Luke Nestled. Luke, how are you doing?
Great, thank you. I'm happy to have Dean as my personal PR agent going forward.
Oh, you just wait until we get off this Zoom. You're going to be getting a lot of gigs.
Absolutely. Happy to be here and super excited for what you guys are doing.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, let me sing some of your accolades. Luke is a mega big time producer, Debbie. He has produced, he's executive producer of the Real Housewives franchise. He's done Salt Lake City, Atlanta, New Jersey, Beverly Hills. He has also been the producer on Basketball Wives, which we'll get into. I'm sure Debbie will be very interested about that show. Southern Charm, Savannah, and one of my favorites, $1 Million Listing. So did $1 Million Listing New York, I think. Is that right? You executive produced?
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So what's that?
Yeah, New York is one that I did. So
okay. So when I say he's a celebrity among celebrities, when we go out anywhere, Luke and I show up, and some huge celebrity pulls him away from me. We went to a movie premiere in Santa Barbara, and we're sitting there, we're waiting at the bar to get a cocktail, and I hear, Luke, oh my God, Luke. And we turn around, and it's Julia Roberts.
Whoa.
I'm not even kidding. I'm like, and he's like, I'm sorry, Dina, would you excuse me for a moment? I'm like, right, okay, sure.
You already had Pretty Woman right there next to you.
Right, I know, absolutely. Well, it was a premiere that I brought Dina as my guest because she's such a beautiful woman in Hollywood. So she fit right in.
And then we went out to a comedy night to meet up with some friends. Yet again, we walk in. We are not even sitting at our table. Luke! Ah! Jessica Simpson.
Whoa.
He knows everybody. I just know Luke, and Luke knows everybody.
No, it was honestly, that was one of the funniest things. And I'm so glad that Dina was there for this. No one's ever said hello to me since. But those two were in the same week, and Dina was there for both of them.
You Hollywood types, you guys live the life, man. You're at all these parties. Dina's always talking about this celebrity, that celebrity. I mean, come on now. You guys got it rolling.
Jumper? Much?
Dina's hard to keep up with in that category.
So Luke has a background in sports, and we're here raising money for Special Olympics. Luke, I know you grew up being involved in sports. Luke and I were cheerleaders together at Vanderbilt. I've already said, like, one of the big benefits of that is front row seats to great events.
Absolutely.
Right? So tell us a little bit about your athletic background.
Well, yeah, you and I both grew up playing. I didn't have a sports scholarship to college like Dina did. However, I did play sports ever since I was 4 through high school, and for fun in college, along with cheerleading, which was more than just fun. It was a event, but there's so much that you can learn from being involved in sports. So many things it teaches you about yourself and about socializing and working on a team and having a common goal and all those things. I really do think that a lot of the stuff that helps me in my current job now are little things that at the time you don't recognize that you're gaining from being involved in athletics and being involved. I did play tennis, so I played some individual sports too, and that certainly has, they have their place as well. But I spent more time playing team sports, and I think that's where I learned a lot for myself in terms of getting along with people, gaining some leadership qualities, and also that things don't always go your way, but you have to get on the field the next one, and keep going and make it all happen. And everyone has a common goal. And also you learn how to be a good loser, because not everybody can win all the time. And I certainly didn't win all the time. So those are all things that you don't realize when you're a kid and you're playing sports, but they really help you through the rest of your life. And I, can definitely attest to that. So I played soccer. That was my big sport, was soccer. And I played football. I never made the basketball team, which was just fine. But soccer, tennis, and football were the 3 sports I played the most growing up.
So Debbie, it sounds like all the stuff he's talking about is exactly a segue into us talking about Special Olympics and what we're trying to do. And so I'll let you talk about what we're accomplishing, how we are spending the money that Luke's helping us raise. So go ahead, Debbie.
Well, I'm just thinking while I'm listening to you, Luke, talk about a couple of buzzwords I heard about, learning how to fail, learning how to lose. Like today's society, there's a lot of parents that don't allow their kids to fail, and therefore they don't learn those lessons. And in my house with 3 boys and my middle son, Frankie, we know all about failing, but we also know about picking yourself up and trying again or trying harder or finding a solution as to why you failed. How do you feel about that?
You're exactly right. I don't know. Dean and I are basically the same age, and so when we were young, you went through all that. You didn't make the cheerleading squad sometimes, I didn't make the basketball team. You really had to try out for things, and sometimes you went home and you cried, and it didn't go well, and your mom was there, or your dad was there, or your friend was there, and you figure out and you try harder the next time, and maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't, maybe you adjust to a skill you do have, all those things. And then when I was out of college and I was a summer camp counselor, that was sort of when things changed a bit in our country, and everyone, which it has its positives, that everyone gets the reinforcement and everyone gets to participate and do all of those things. But what it did was it really did take away a little bit of everyone kind of learning what it feels like to not win sometimes, because that's okay. And you get so much from that, and it teaches you how to pick yourself up and move on, and it teaches you how to be a good winner if you've lost. You know what it feels like, so that when you get to the end zone, you can be there like a like a real champion. Someone who can appreciate it but not gloat, can appreciate it but also comfort the loser, and they'll have their time in the sun. All those things that you learn once you have been in that seat and have failed. And there are so many more things you learn from it, but that's kind of, I watched that transition in the States happen a little bit from when we were all kids to the current time. And I think that the kids now, there's a lot of positives to always getting a participation ribbon, but they do miss out on some of the lessons we learned, which was how to kind of be scrappy and make it work and get back out there,
I like that you brought bringing Scrappy up, because this event was Debbie's brainchild, and it came into existence because she was being scrappy about thinking of ways to help Special Olympics, and came up with the idea of having this 24-hour marathon.
That's great.
Well, honestly, Luke, what we were trying to do is find a way to raise money and create awareness for Special Olympics. And I thought, what my coach at NC State, Kay, always said, what more can we do? Like, what else can I do? And our family has benefited greatly from Special Olympics with my son's ability to play. He's such a great athlete. He's a multi-sport athlete, multi-gold winner in several sports. I've been a unified partner before. It's a really fun experience for our family. And I just wanted other families to get a chance to experience it. And so that's why we put this fundraiser together with this crazy zany idea that I would be shooting free throws for 24 hours, but I had to put a cap on it because I wasn't going to be able to shoot 24 straight hours. I knew that would be a little bit ridiculous. It's already ridiculous what I'm trying to do, but making 100 free throws on the top of every hour for 24 hours creates a lot of contribution and a lot of awareness for Special Olympics. So I'm just the vehicle for the story. The story is really Special Olympics.
That's great. And it should be. That should be the story. And that's wonderful that you guys are doing everything you can to try and help, because it is such a great cause. And, creating great memories for so many people who get to participate.
When you were talking about rejection, maybe not succeeding or learning from failure, I've learned from being with Dina that in putting this event together, that your business and my business are very similar. It's sort of subjective. You get told no before you get a lot of yeses. And it just makes me think about how much sport has helped us figure out how to pick ourselves up and move on. The other thing I wanted to say, Luke, is all the shows that you've done and all the interesting things that you've produced. It seems to me like there's a common theme there about conflict. And I just love the idea of conflict has got to be just like great TV, right? The properties that you represent are amazing, and a lot of them have to do with conflict. So how do you produce that? Like, the more the conflict, the better? Or
Well, first, let me say that I started a new project yesterday for Netflix that is a home design show, and I couldn't be more excited.
Oh, you'll have conflict there, I bet. Somebody won't like something.
I'll have to have some, but it's not quite the same, you know.
Right.
The conflict does drive a lot of the kind of shows that I typically make are called docuseries, and conflict does drive those shows a lot because that's what keeps the viewers watching, you know. And so we try and build in personal story of each of the cast members too, and not make them just one-dimensional. So you meet their families, you follow their professional lives, and you're rooting for them. But ultimately, you want to know what happens when one of the cast members finds out some dirt on another one, and how does she present it, and how does the information move, and who reacts in what way, and so it that keeps it exciting. You know, we are always, people think that the shows are a lot more produced than they are, and that is something that I'm actually proud to, when I'm talking to my friends, when they ask, they ask about a certain story, I'm like, well, you know, these women are actually just like that. Like, we produce situations. Sure, you know, maybe they wouldn't all be on the same cruise together, or they wouldn't have all chosen, maybe this woman would not have chosen to invite 2 of these 8 to her dinner party, so we make that happen. But then when everyone does there, that's on them, you know. So we produce situations, and then what the cast members do in them is largely on them. We try, and the producers, my team, we try and constantly talk to the cast and find out what's happening in their lives, who knows what information can we find out, and then we help them decide what to do with the information, you know. And sometimes there might be things they wouldn't naturally share, and you have to say, well, listen, we're on a TV show. You're going to have to share that. You're going to have to tell the other person about this, because otherwise it's boring, you know. So we do have to do a little bit of that, but we don't make up the stories, and we don't tell anyone how to act or what to say.
Have you ever had to go cut on a conflict because it got so far out of hand that you had to pull them back, like separate them or put them in different rooms, anything like that? Absolutely. I mean, you know, none of the shows that I work on want any kind of, you know, actual physical, you know, interaction. And sometimes people do get a bit elevated, they do get a bit too close. And in those moments on those types of shows, in a group situation, for everyone's safety, there's always security around. And there are times when people get so heated because sometimes someone is talking about something that the other cast member does not want to come out on television, you know? And I don't want to stop that information, but I don't want anyone to get, I don't want anyone to get hurt, you know? Right. So sometimes we do have to, security steps in, or sometimes I have to say, you know, jump in myself and change the direction, because sometimes cast members will take things in a way that the show doesn't really care or need it to go. You know, sometimes things go so far that you step in and you're like, guys, we don't actually care about that. That's not going to go anywhere on our show. That has no place being on television. That's not appropriate for our audience. There are those kinds of moments where you step in. And there are also moments, which happens even more, where you walk in and you're like, and I'm kind of known for this on my shows amongst the cast members, I'll just walk in and be like, guys, I am falling asleep. Y'all are boring. People are going to change the channel. I don't care what you had for breakfast. Please talk about something that's actually interesting to the viewers. So we do have to do that sometimes, to keep their energy up and tell them, you know, when to change course in their conversation, because we have to sort of, we don't have writers. So as the producers, we have to sort of be listening as a viewer and think, what would the viewers want to know here? Or what would they hope to come out? Or if they saw someone say something and the other cast member did not have a reaction, that might not seem normal. So we might have to say, hey, pull them out and say, hey, you know, Dina, this other cast member just said this about you. What do you want to say back? You got to say something. We might have to make that happen sometimes, but it does get out of hand, you know, on occasion. It's rare, but it does happen.
Now, we've not had much conflict in our 2 years of doing the show together. Debbie and I tend to get along pretty well. We haven't had a fight. We're talking about how story and conflict drives audience views. Now, we did pretty well last year. We had 13 million impressions for our show. We raised a lot of money. But let's up the ante. we've got the producer of The Real Housewives. Let's set up a scenario, Luke. How do you think that Debbie and I could, what could happen that could go viral, that could make a lot of people come view 24 Hours of Nothing But Net? I want to pull Debbie's hair. I want to like push her.
That'd be very difficult for you guys to do on your Zoom.
So, no, we're going to be together once the event starts on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You better bring your track shoes, Dina, because I'll
if I push you, I better be able to outrun you.
Yes, because I will catch you and I will track you down.
It's a battle. It's a battle. I mean, I think that most of those things come from, I don't know the salacious details of both of your current lives right now, but were you to know something? Were you to know something salacious about Debbie, and you brought it up on air, and she wasn't wanting that to come out? That's sort of how these things happen, or you tell someone something that she didn't want them to know.
So last year and the year before, she's averaging shooting 91%. So maybe if she's shooting like 80, I could be like, "Why do you suck so bad this year, Debbie?" Huh?
Right.
Not very salacious. It's not very salacious. I think we are kind of boring lives, Debbie. I don't know anything salacious.
Well, it might not be salacious, but it'll hurt her feelings.
I can hurt her feelings now.
Shut up. I'd probably tell you to shut up.
And I'd probably go, "You're right, I was out of line."
I don't think Dina and I could have any argument. I think we would get along great. Now, once we get into the wee hours when one of us is drinking and one of us is not, that could change the dynamic of our...
I keep telling Debbie I don't think she should drink while she's shooting. I've told her that numerous times.
Probably smart.
I'm just saying. No. So I want to move on to talk about something else that's really cool about Luke to me. He produced one of the most expensive, I think at the time, it was the most expensive Nike commercial. Is that an accurate fact, Luke? And who were the stars
I never
in
saw
the Nike
the books of their previous commercials, but I think that, now it's more common where they have 15 athletes in a long commercial. But, when we did this one in 2007, that wasn't very common. So on the same, in the same commercial, there was, Laird Hamilton, Gabrielle Reese, Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, like the list of celebrities that all cost money was huge, and that's part of, and then they each shot part of the commercial individually. So you had all the different shoots that also raised the money. I mean, I'm sure that on the Nike side of it, each of them had certain obligations for their yearly contract with Nike. So they were probably covered, on their own, but having to shoot in 10 different spots really upped the cost as well.
Is it intimidating? Is it intimidating to approach these huge sports figures and you're producing the commercial and kind of boss them around and tell them how to stand, move? No, Michael, don't jump that high. You're out of frame. Like, come on, Jordan.
No, I think you have to not be fazed. Like you don't even know who they are, which happened when Dina and I were cheering in college and we were at an SEC tournament, and we were, I think at the tournament, I think it was in either Birmingham or it could have been in Baton Rouge. Either way, I was waiting to use the phone because cell phones didn't exist.
Right.
And I needed to call my mom.
I was not in this event. I'm not that old. I don't know who was with Luke when this happened.
Right, maybe it wasn't Dina. I needed to just call my mom and tell her we got there safely and all that stuff. I'm waiting to use the phone, and all of a sudden, this guy opens up the booth and walks out, and he was giant. And I had no clue, because while I was an incredible soccer star in my youth, I may not have followed all the athletes perfectly at the time. And anyway, this guy walks out. He's massive. He's like, "Do you need to use the phone?" I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm good. I'm fine. Whatever. Whenever you're off, talk to your mom." And then he walks away, and then our mutual friend Bill was like, "That was Shaquille O'Neal." And he was a student at the time, he was at LSU. And I was like, "Who? What?" Now I only wish that I had known. I've been like, "Hey, Shaq."
What up, Shaq?
I did tell him that story though, when I was on Basketball Wives, and his ex-wife Shawnee is one of the cast members, or she actually created the show. She started that show for VH1, and in all of the years of her being on the show, he's never been on it. And then when I was making it, not because of me, but because of their son, anyway, he came on and took the family and their friends to dinner at a restaurant he was opening in downtown LA, and that was cool. So I told him that story. It was kind of funny.
That's how
I
I've
can't
had
believe
the opportunity now. I'm sorry, Debbie, go ahead.
I said I can't believe Shaq actually fit in a phone booth, but back then he may have been able to.
It looked funny. That's what I didn't expect this. I didn't expect, because he was just sitting in there. So when he stood up to walk out, that's the part that like took me by surprise. I was like, "What? Who is this?"
That's so funny. I have a funny Shaq story because I was a cheerleader, but I ran track also. And so I was at the track running, and I think Shaquille was coming to throw shot put, and he comes walking by and he goes, "Hey, what are you doing here, rah-rah?" And I started laughing. I go, "What are you doing here, baller?" And he started laughing. And then the following basketball season, I walked up, I was standing on the sidelines. He came over and he's like, "What are you doing here, jumper?" I go, "What are you doing here, thrower?" And we got giggled. I mean, like that. Those are like the two conversations I had with Shaq during college.
Still
like
fun.
Sentences apiece. But so we kept crossing paths. So that's funny. Luke, thanks so much for joining us.
Yes.
Debbie, I'll tell, this is a horrible story. And I told Candace Lee this the other day. Luke, the athletic director at Vanderbilt, Candace, was on our show. She was gracious enough to give us some time. But I told her about how I stuck my foot in my mouth at the Vanderbilt fundraiser in LA.
That's right.
Debbie, listen.
That was the same time as that commercial. That was the same
Yes,
time.
it was. It was the day of that commercial, which is what made me think about it. So Luke is producing the most expensive Nike commercial ever made. Vanderbilt's having a fundraiser, and they're talking to people who are in the entertainment industry, looking to get internships for students, trying to branch out for their new film program that's at Vanderbilt. And so there's a provost or a chancellor of some sort there. He starts talking to me and Luke, and he said, "We're just looking to get our kids some experience and contacts in LA." And I said, "I can help you with this. This is my friend Luke Nestled. He is literally producing the most expensive, greatest Nike commercial ever today and tomorrow." And so I don't know who is producing, directing, making those Vanderbilt commercials currently that run during the sporting events, but they're really bad. So Luke should come and do a weekend or a week seminar, help you guys produce the commercials that run during sporting events. He's a mega producer. This would be great. He's from the athletic department. So who do you guys have doing that right now? And the provost at the time goes, "I do it." I said, "I'm going to the bar and you gentlemen talk amongst yourselves." I just turned around and left Luke standing there. Oh my God. Can you imagine?
That was really funny. That was embarrassing and funny. I told you though, Dina's the best PR agent ever. Even right then. She was
100%.
She was my cheerleader.
I never got invited back to another Vandy fundraiser in LA, I don't think. I don't know why. I don't get it.
And I can't get off the list. I'm just kidding.
And they're still asking him to come produce commercials for them. No. So, Luke, thanks so much for joining us and your energy. And hopefully we are going to get some information to you so you'll be able to post and help us promote.
Absolutely. Please send me anything. And I'm super thankful for all you guys are doing for the cause.
So thankful.
Everyone will benefit from it. Everyone will benefit.
There's so many people that are going to benefit from this, and we can't thank you enough for taking your time on your busy schedule. This is just amazing. Dina has introduced us to some of the best people around Hollywood, and you certainly are on top of the list. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And next year, we're going to recruit you and loop you in even more and have you produce a couple of segments for us.
There we go. I'm in.
Okay, thanks for coming back and being with us here on the live stream. Wow, what a powerful last 2 hours we've had. We had incredible guests like Mia Hamm and Lacey Evans. We went live with ESPN, and we were able to tell them that we've raised $151,000. I mean, it's amazing. So thank you. If you're watching and you can still have time to contribute, please do. We would love to help the Special Olympic athletes, not only in the state of South Carolina, but in Minnesota, in Oregon, and in Rhode Island. And we're going to be checking in on our shooters in those other states pretty soon, but it's time to get another 100 in. So hit it, Frank. Let's do it. Pistol. Oh, missed the first one. Can't do that, Mimi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, thank you, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. 42. 43. 44. 45. 46. 47. 47. 48. 49. 50. 51. 52. 53. 54. 55. 56. 57. 58. 59. 60. 61. 62. 63. 64. 65. 66. 67. 68. 69. 70. 71. 72. 73. 74. 75. 76. 77. 78. 79. 80. 81. 82. 83. 84. 85. 86. 87. 88. 89. 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. 'All right. All that burpees, all those free. Frankie just informed us that we are at $152,000 for Special Olympics. That's absolutely amazing. Incredible. Thank you to those of you that are watching and donating. 24hoursnbn.com. I'm overwhelmed by the support, and I'm so grateful that you are taking the time to invest in our own community here in South Carolina and giving these athletes a chance to train and compete and give them the programming that they really need. I mean, I'm overwhelmed. That's an amazing amount of money, and it will go directly to the athletes, so you can be sure that it's not going to go to some administrative work or some overhead. It's going right to help athletes directly. So thank you. So we're at 152. And how many shots is that? 1,100? Okay, yeah, we're not quite halfway there, but we set the goal at 150, and we've already passed that. That doesn't mean that you can't keep giving. We need it. So don't worry about the goal. Just keep throwing the money at us, because it's making a difference. It's having a huge impact, and I can't thank you enough. So do we have our next guest?
We're going to go with Katie O'Brien because Frank's not ready yet.
Okay, so if you've enjoyed Disney properties at all, I'm not just talking about the parks, I'm talking about all the movies and everything. I actually work for the Mouse. ESPN is paid by the Mouse. Disney owns ESPN. But if you've watched The Mandalorian, that is a great show. If you haven't watched, you need to tune in, because the next guest we have is Katie O'Brien. She is an actor on the show The Mandalorian. She's an Imperial officer. She's awesome in her part. But she also is a former police officer in Indianapolis who actually participated in a torch run. And she tells us all about it on this interview, so take a listen.
Welcome back to 24 Hours of Nothing But Net with Debbie Antonelli. Debbie just keeps shooting and helping make money for Special Olympics, and we keep having bigger superstars and bigger superstars joining us. And now we have one of my favorite actresses, martial artist, great all-around human being. This is Katie O'Brien. She is a superstar in the sci-fi world. Let's just go over a few of your credits, Katie. Right now, she is on Disney Plus's The Mandalorian, part of the Star Wars franchise. You're the first female Imperial officer in the entire Star Wars franchise. That sounds
Live
pretty
action.
daunting. Live action.
That's what they tell me. You know, everybody starts delving into like the, oh, well, I saw this one in the background, or whatever. But
but now you have a collector's card coming out with Topps has done a limited edition collector's card, and you have your own freaking card. What does that look like? I mean, what's that feel like?
I was about to say, I literally don't know what it looks like because I haven't seen it. But it was kind of weird because I did not expect it. It's one of those things where you get a call one day and you're just like, are you serious? Why do you want me on your whatever? Here, yes, I'll do it.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you Before Star Wars, you were on a TV show, another sci-fi show, Z Nation. Also a hugely popular character. I think your character's name was George. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, it was a play on George Washington because we were, zombie apocalypse, everything. And my character was trying to restart basically a civilization. So I was the George Washington of the apocalypse.
Well, you get to say you're part of the Star Wars franchise, which is bragging rights enough. But you're also part of the DC comic world. You were on Black Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
You are on fire,
Yep.
Katie O'Brien.
Well, our next guest is a rock star. I'm so pleased that Coach Frank Martin from the University of South Carolina could be with us. Coach, thank you so much for giving your time, and especially at this hour. We're so glad that you're able to join us. Once again, last year you also were able to join us, so thank you so much.
Usually I'm sound asleep at this time, but knowing you're going to be up all night shooting some baskets to raise money for a great cause, I could not do the 8 a.m. I had to do the 10 p.m.
Hey, Coach, listen, we'll take you anytime because we're so happy that you would be able to join us. You know, we're at $151,000, which exceeds our goal already, and we still have half shooting left to do. I mean, like, I've only made 1,100. I've still got another 2,300 to do, or 1,300 to do. Sorry, I don't want to do 2,300.
Wow, that's incredible news, Debbie, to hear that you've already exceeded the goal and still, have you're halfway there maybe.
Well, I'll be halfway on the next 100, but yeah, Coach, I feel pretty good. You know, I had to put a lot of training and fitness into getting ready, so it's a little taxing, but it's definitely worth it. I mean, it's incredible what we've been able to do so far, and I know what Special Olympics means to you.
Absolutely, it's something dear to me. Just something so meaningful that gives so many people such incredible pride and the attention that we've created and the opportunities that we've created to make everyone feel good and seeing the joy of those all them folks that compete in Special Olympics to have the opportunity to compete, something that you're doing. You're competing against yourself right now, but it's something that we love to do, which is compete and to see everybody have that opportunity is tremendous, and I'm so thankful, Debbie, for what you do. It's I coach basketball and I'm judged on winning and losing games. What you're doing is winning lives, and that's what it's all about.
Well, Coach, you know it means so much to me what you think because I admire so much what you do. I have so much respect for how you go about running your program, how your young men come away from you being better young men, what you do in your family atmosphere. Talk a little bit about your culture and why, giving is a skill and why you teach that to your guys.
It's all family. That's the way I was raised. It's my grandmother, my mother. It was all about not worrying about what we didn't have. Is teaching us to share what we did have, and then sharing love. And then I say this all the time. People say, "Frank, where'd you get your scowl?" I said, "That's my grandmother." I mean, that's her stare when I was a kid was like deadly, and so it's that's the grandmother, my grandmother, and me coming out anytime when I'm in a competitive moment. But everything's about family, and that's the way I run our program. Those players, they mean so much to my family, not just me, and their willingness to sacrifice and compete, to grow, to help them in their education, and to help us all feel good about who we are, is just something special. I fell in love with coaching when I was 19 years old, and I did it because of my high school coach and in my neighborhood. So it was my turn to help the other kids in the neighborhood. And heck, here we are 36 years later and still trying to figure this out.
Well, Coach, I know it was a challenging year for not just you, but for everybody across the college basketball landscape. And you personally battled some health issues. I just want to know how you're feeling, because last year you actually, I think you had COVID when you came on the air with us last time, and you didn't tell us. So I want to know how you're feeling this time.
Yeah, that's last time I came on the air with you. I actually had hair. But I was. I just tested positive for COVID, and I was trying to keep that on the down low, just to protect my mom. So she didn't freak out on me since she was locked up in her apartment down in Miami. But I feel great now. I battled COVID a second time back in January. The one from last year knocked my hair out. And then in January, right in the middle of the season, it kicked my tail. But it's all good now. I feel great. I'm happy that we're all starting to get to a place, some form of normalcy, where we feel good about who we are again. And then I just look forward to next year. And this was a real difficult year for our team, for me personally. But heck, Debbie, how lucky am I? I'm sitting here talking to you right now, and I coach basketball for a living. There's so many people that lost lives, lost loved ones, and have lost their jobs. And so it's I'm ecstatic for what's in front of us, and one day at a time. But the one good thing is I feel great right now, and I actually haven't felt this good in a long, long time.
Well, I'm so glad you're feeling good, Coach. You know, we all worry about you. Gamecock Nation is always concerned about how you were feeling this year. But I want to ask you about just the athletic department in general. I mean, you got a pretty good three with Shane and you and Dawn. That's pretty tough to beat.
Well, Dawn is tough to beat on her own. I mean, heck, holy cow, what she's done, it's just incredible. But no, we you know, Ray Tanner, the university, we've got a real strong partnership within our coaches, and the support that we have for one another. And you know, Dawn would, you know, what I just said, what she's done at our school is just it's just unbelievable. Winning one game's hard. Having a winning season is very hard. To win a gazillion consecutive ACC championships, that's just absurd. And she continues to do it. And you know, we're lucky. We before this past year, we'd had the previous 6 years was the winningest 6-year period since the 70s for the Gamecocks in men's basketball. And then Shane, you know, I'm excited for him. I've known Shane for a little while. Obviously, his dad's an icon in the coaching industry. So, the group of people that we have, and Mark Kingston in baseball, we have an unbelievable partnership amongst the coaches there.
Well, we'll have Shane and Dawn on the live stream later, coming up soon, probably in the morning, actually, because that's when we could get them into our time slot. And you're just so incredibly giving of your time, Coach. And I can't thank you enough for taking time to care about Special Olympics. I saw that you had posted about supporting us, and that means a lot to us, because you have so much respect. People listen to you, and I'm sure you've had a lot to do with us getting that number to 151. So, I mean, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing for Special Olympics, for the platform that you use to make our community better. And it just means a lot to me personally that you would take the time.
Absolutely, Debbie. It's and I love being a small little part of what you're doing here every single year. And I'm going to go back on my social media platform and double down to see if we can double what you've already raised.
Well, thank you, Coach. We are thrilled. We're excited. We're just going to keep rolling through the night here. You know, things have calmed down. It's a little bit cooler. You're not dealing with as many elements. It is dark. There are a few people hanging out drinking. They're a little distracting, but you know, I'm trying to keep my focus on where it needs to be to make the story better for Special Olympics.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Make sure you keep making them. Don't keep drinking.
Yes, sir. That sounds like a deal. I'm sure they'll go for that. Thank you, Coach. I really appreciate it. Frank Martin, the head coach at the University of South Carolina. Great guy, great friend, tremendous supporter of what we're doing. And thank you, Coach. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you, Debbie. Keep going.
It was pretty cool to get Coach Martin. I mean, I have a lot of people ask me all the time, what is Coach Martin like? And I do get to cover the Gamecock men. And, you know, I love to tell this story about Coach Martin because everybody knows that, you know, he's so demonstrative on the sideline. And he's really tried not to be that way the last couple of years. But I went to practice, and Coach always lets me go to practice. He lets me watch film with the team. He always gives me full access when I'm there. It's so gracious of him because for somebody like me to do the job that I want to do, I like to have that access behind the scenes. And I was at practice 2 years ago on day 2 of him putting in his defense. And everybody that knows me, I'm shooting until my arm falls off. I care about offense. I learned so much in that one practice about the philosophy that Frank Martin operates on and why his teams defend so well and why they're so good on that end of the floor. And so it was an incredible learning experience for me. And so I have great respect for Coach Martin, and he's such an iconic person in the college basketball game. We're lucky to have him. So, all right, we are going to go back to Katie O'Brien. Yeah, so Katie, I'm sorry we had to cut you in the middle, but that's live TV, right? So, but you mean a lot to us also. So we're going to go back to the Katie O'Brien interview, and as I mentioned, The Mandalorian and a lot of different things. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? That's a Marvel product. She's big time now. Like, check this out, Katie O'Brien.
Welcome back to 24 Hours of Nothing But Net with Debbie Antonelli. Debbie just keeps shooting and helping make money for Special Olympics, and we keep having bigger superstars and bigger superstars joining us. And now we have one of my favorite actresses, martial artist, great all-around human being. This is Katie O'Brien. She is a superstar in the sci-fi world. Let's just go over a few of your credits, Katie. Right now, she is on Disney Plus's The Mandalorian, part of the Star Wars franchise. You're the first female Imperial officer in the entire Star Wars franchise. That sounds
Live
pretty
action.
daunting. Live action.
That's what they tell me. You know, everybody starts delving into like the, oh, well, I saw this one in the background, or you know, whatever. But
but now you have a collector's card coming out with Topps has done a limited edition collector's card, and you have your own freaking card. What does that look like? I mean, what's that feel like?
I was about to say, I literally don't know what it looks like because I haven't seen it. But it was kind of weird because I did not expect it. It's one of those things where you get a call one day and you're just like, are you serious? Why do you want me on your whatever? Here, yes, I'll do it.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And you, before Star Wars, you were on a TV show, another sci-fi show, Z Nation. Also a hugely popular character. I think your character's name was George. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, it was a play on George Washington because we were, you know, zombie apocalypse, everything. And my character was trying to restart basically a civilization. So I was the George Washington of the apocalypse.
Well, you get to say you're part of the Star Wars franchise, which is bragging rights enough, but you're also part of the DC comic world. You were on Black Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
You are on fire, yep. Katie O'Brien.
It's been a wild ride, but yeah.
Yeah, The Walking Dead, How to Get Away with Murder, Westworld, and you grew up. You were a police officer, a martial artist before you became an actor. Now you were getting to play, putting your MMA fighter past to work with your acting. You have a starring role in Magnum PI coming out as an MMA fighter.
Oh yeah, that already came out. But yeah.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, that was probably one of the most fun times that I've had on set because first of all, I mean, I got to be in Hawaii, so can't complain there.
Yeah,
and yeah, and I got to actually train with some real MMA fighters. They used as my sparring partners and training partners, and got to have some pro tips from them, so I could take it back to my school, you know, where I train and try to show it off and maybe completely fail, but it's worth the effort. But it was really one of those situations where I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm getting paid to do what I just do regularly at home, have fun, be in Hawaii with a great casting crew. I mean, it was a blast.
Hashtag living the dream.
Exactly.
Katie, I feel like that sometimes when I'm sitting in the seat calling a game for ESPN or for CBS. I can't believe they're paying me. I got to travel to the gym. I love being in the gym, the smell, the snap of the net, the squeak of the shoes, all of it. It gets you ready to go. But one of the greatest compliments to the efforts that we're putting together on our team here with 24 Hours of Nothing But Net is that we have some special guests that make a return visit, and this is your second time being with us. So that's the greatest compliment that we can get, that you wanted to be a part of our event again. You have a special place in your heart for Special Olympics. Tell us about your experience with Special Olympics.
Yeah, when I worked for our police department, we paired up our FOP, our Fraternal Order of Police, paired up with Special Olympics athletes. So we had annual events that we would do, and one time we did a run. And now that you mention it, I'm like, wait, was this a torch run? And was there a torch I just didn't see? Or, but we did a run with the group. We did some bowling activities with the groups, and yeah, I mean, it was always just a blast, and got to hang out and got to just meet some really wonderful people and get taught some lessons on, like, we worked with the bowling people, and I am not a bowler. It's not good at all. So my athlete had to help me out a lot. I was like, can we put the little bumpers down? And she's like, no, we're not gonna do that today. So learned some lessons on how to, like, try to bowl a little straighter, all that. So it's really, really great.
I read an article about
I'm sorry, Dina.
Go ahead, Debbie.
All the accolades that Dina lists about you, they're so phenomenal. I mean, like you're, like superstars like yourself are people that we say are like part of the regular fabric of conversation sitting around the coffee cooler, right? Or the water cooler. When you talk about the Star Wars franchise, it gets everyone's attention. Is it what it merits for your career? I mean, like, when you can drop the lead line as Star Wars, is that something that carries more weight than everything else?
Yeah, it is weird, because to me, I was thinking, oh, it's such a small role, it's not going to get that much attention. And I was so mistaken, because I don't watch a lot of Star Wars. So I don't know how big it is, just in my mind. No, everyone knows this. Sorry. I'm like,
okay.
I'm like, I don't watch it. So landing the role, I knew it was cool. It was going to be an exciting adventure. And, seeing the uniform that I got to wear, I'm like, okay, well, this is iconic. And it actually was an Imperial uniform from, like, the originals. So they had a bunch of original uniforms. So I'm like, okay, someone in, like, the 70s wore this. So all of that was just, I mean, it's such a cool thought to be a part of that history just in general. But yeah, I didn't realize even on another level how the industry felt about Star Wars, I guess. So, I mean, I just did The Rookie with Nathan Fillion, and he was like, tell me about Star Wars. Tell me about being on the Star Wars set. And I was like, are you serious? Like, you care? You want to? Okay. Yeah. I mean, it was
what went on.
It was amazing. We got to, first of all, I did get to meet Baby Yoda, which I was the most excited about. He's very soft, very precious, very kind, very humble, Yes, very wise. Yeah. So I was already just beside myself about that. And then, every day on set, you've got Jon Favreau standing there. He's one of the producers and creators, and so he's there all the time, monitoring the set, making sure everything's going well, offering his advice. Dave Filoni's there, and we're both wearing, like, ugly Christmas sweaters all the time, and like, and they're just so down to earth, and I was just not expecting that at all. And then to kind of see the universe that they've created, and the, you know, being inside the spaceship. I'm gonna mess up the name, so I shouldn't even try to say what it is. But like having that surrounding with like stormtroopers all over the place and other Imperial officers all over the place, and then Giancarlo Esposito is like the guy that you get to act with. And I'd just seen him on, you know, Breaking Bad, and was like obsessed with this guy in Better Call Saul. And he's just such a phenomenal actor. So it's just getting to meet all these like amazing people in this amazing environment with professionals on like the top of their game. I felt like it was just an honor to be there and to be able to participate. And I learned a lot, and I don't know, it's still a little surreal. It's kind of like I kind of almost blurted out in a way. Just
wow. It's incredible. I want to read a quote. I read an article about you earlier today, and I love this, and I think it is so inspiring. As a police officer, you said you worked for your department's crisis intervention team. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit, but you said, and I'm quoting here, that unit made me much more empathetic, loving, understanding toward individuals who are misunderstood and often rejected by society, considered outsiders. And I feel like that's what Special Olympics tries to do. We try to make everybody feel like a member of the team. We get people off the sidelines and give them the tools that they need to succeed in life. And it sounds like that's what you were learning to do as well when you were in crisis intervention. Can you talk about your experiences there a little?
Yeah. And also, you know, with the Special Olympics and you know, also Hollywood trying to open up and make things more visible too. I mean, I think it's so important to interact with people that you maybe don't know or don't understand or something like that. And it helps us realize, oh, okay, you're really not different. Like there was this stigma or this weird thought that I had in my head, and it just shows you how mistaken you are. So as a police officer, yeah, I was a psych major. So like, mentally, I understood, okay, people do have crises. They have times in their lives where things aren't going the way that they had planned. They have chemical imbalances. Any amount of things can occur. But when you work in the police force and you're having to go on these calls constantly, sometimes with the same people over and over again, it starts to get a little stressful. And I think a lot of officers start to respond poorly because they're frustrated and they don't understand how to handle that situation or handle their own emotions within those situations, or they just don't even take the effort to understand what the family is going through, what the people are going through, that kind of thing. So crisis intervention team, it's a training that is accessible to anyone. They can all do it. But it just gives you a little bit more information and a little bit more, I guess, perspective on how to handle certain crises. And that could be anything from extreme cases of depression, suicide in progress, that kind of situation. But we also work with people who have schizophrenia. We have people who have dementia, work a lot with autism. And it just kind of helps you be a little bit more aware on how to talk to the person and also talk to the family. And then gives you some resources that you can help provide as well, just to kind of see if you can make these situations either less pervasive or if you can just, take the weight off someone's shoulders for a while. I remember I had a mom one time who was just, her son was autistic and he was having some issues, and he loved police officers. So she felt guilty calling the police. Just because she, was just really stressed out and didn't know what to do. And I was like, well, he loves police officers. Let's show him the car. Let's hang out for a second. And we just chatted and we kept in touch. And I was like, no, you can call us for this for sure. It's something that if you just ask for a crisis intervention person, we can come over, and it's we're public servants in the end, right? Like, that's our purpose. So we wound up meeting, and he calmed down right away. I mean, it was like immediate. And so just those couple seconds with him where I got to spread, positive, have a positive interaction with him on the police end, have a positive interaction with the mother. And then at the same time, the situation was resolved. So it was just like those little moments were really, really rewarding, more so than, it's a really difficult job to be in. And sometimes, you're having to take people to jail that you just don't feel like deserve to go, things like that. And those are really rough moments, not very rewarding moments. So it was nice to have times like those where you get to really connect with someone and make their day better,
Our country is in such a time where inclusion and diversity and accepting people for who they are is, prevalent and at the forefront, more so now than what it has been or what it should have been in the past. And so you're giving us an up close look at, dealing with somebody that does have autism, that doesn't maybe have an outlet, and you finding a solution for that is kind of what we're talking about here with Special Olympics, trying to find a way for people to play, knowing that sport can be a great outlet for those that might be challenged by special issues. How has sport helped you, Katie, navigate your career and navigate situations like that, and all the perfect example you just gave us about, being on that unit with the police department?
I mean, I've been in sports my whole life, martial arts pretty much my whole life since I was 5 or 6, I'm gonna say. And it has always been just a really positive outlet for me in so many ways. And I've done a lot of individual sports and team sports. And, for me, it's a little less stressful to be in an individual sport. Because with a team sport, I'm always like, oh, the pressure's on, right? With basketball, you're like, oh, if I miss this free throw, I might ruin it for my team, So it's both have definitely been beneficial. With team sports, you learn to work together. You learn to support each other, which is just like the best thing, that you can have this like wonderful supportive environment. Even under high pressure situations, you can learn to quote unquote lose respectfully and lose with dignity and still enjoy the game and realize that that's kind of what it's about in the end. It's just about playing the game, having fun, camaraderie, sportsmanship, all of that. It's just like really wonderful qualities that you can take with you anywhere in life and help you thrive in any situation. And with my individual sports, like, with martial arts, with weightlifting, the things that I really, really enjoy doing, for me, it's just such a mental clarity. There was a little bit of time when I moved from Indiana to Los Angeles where I didn't have the bodybuilding community that I had at home. I didn't know where to train martial arts. I wasn't really quite sure if I could even afford to, because it's expensive out here. And I just yeah. I was just kind of I almost felt a little lost. And one of my friends actually just happens to be the head of UCLA's martial arts program, and he was like, come here, come train, come teach, do all these things. And that just kind of it refocused me. And even today I have training later, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I am hitting goals. I'm setting goals for myself, accomplishing goals. And it gives you one of the big things, especially with martial arts, that I tell people is it's literally an art of resilience, because you're being pounded into a mat. You're being beaten up, like literally beaten up, and you have to learn to stand back up every time. And that resilience gets you so far in the acting industry. Because this is a career of rejection, a career of literally being beaten down all the time. And you just have to keep standing up and trying. Yeah. And learning new tactics and learning what works for you and what doesn't. That's a big philosophy in martial arts too. So I could draw limitless connections between how important sport is, how important finding your sport is, finding your people, finding what works for you, what makes you happy and what makes you excel, and life. They're they work hand in hand.
Katie, you're talking about resilience, and I hear about your life and what you're dedicated to, the martial arts, bodybuilding, being a police officer, and I hear discipline, 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 resilience, 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 resilience. What kind of advice would you give Debbie when she's about 12 hours in to shooting 24 hours, raising money? What advice would you and Baby Yoda give Debbie to get through this 24 hours of a lot of people depending on her, a lot of people needing her to pull through? She's instrumental in raising the funds that are needed for Special Olympics so much right now, especially with COVID. So let's hear first from Katie and then maybe from Baby Yoda.
Okay, well, I'm terrified to speak for Baby Yoda.
That was maybe too much. That might be taking it a step too far.
First of all, I have to get the verb and subject agreement wrong, and that's so. I mean, I think Debbie very much is aware of this. It's not about you, you know. It's about this goal. It's about this, and you know, you've trained for it, so you know you can do it. So there's no doubt in the back of your head that you can't, right? So it's one of those things you're going to keep going. You know this is benefiting so many people. You know that you're the star of the show here, right? We're counting on you, and you're like, wait, this is more pressure.
What? Star?
It's more
no,
pressure.
Dina.
No.
Dina's the star.
Oh, right.
Dina's the cheerleader.
But
she's the pesky producer on the side going, Debbie, Debbie, Debbie. You need anything? Do you want some water? How's it going?
Yeah, exactly. And there you go. And you have so many people cheering you on too. So, it's not about, letting anyone down. I'm doing anything. You're doing something great for so many, and you can do it. You will do it. And there's just no doubt in your mind. And that's also what Baby Yoda says.
I'm going to remember that, Katie. Thank you for your kind words and inspiration and your discipline and your resilience, because that's what I know I'm going to need, and I'm going to do it. I am going to finish the task, and I want to do it at a high level, because the better I can shoot it, the better the story is. And then next year we go, Katie, we need you back for a third year, and you go, I'm in.
I'll be like, look, I've been practicing some free throws, and I'm at like 27%.
Celebrity shooters.
Yeah, celebrity shooters
Yeah.
next year. COVID might be over. We might be able to actually interact with one another. What? We could have celebrity shooters. Or
No. It won't be good. I'll have to do the underhand one and
granny shot. Katie calls the granny
yeah.
shot.
It's funny. Like, I did basketball for a little while in middle school and high school, and then started weightlifting, and then tried to throw the ball, and it was like, it was so light all of a sudden, and I just suddenly couldn't make the shots anymore. But are you doing it inside or outside or both for the whole thing?
Outside in my driveway, just like last year.
Okay.
And praying for good weather. If whatever elements bring challenges, I will overtake them. I'm prepared for rain. I hate to even say that word, but yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, I mean, so if it is 90%, since it's outside in the wind and possible other inclement, sun might get in your eyes. We got you here. 90% is fine. It's perfect.
What would the Imperial officer wear over their eyes if the sun would just be regular sunglasses, or is there some super laser Star Wars special effects, something I need to be thinking about?
That is a really good question, because now that I think about it, we could literally be driving into the sun at any given point, right? Because we're in space. I think hopefully the spaceship would shield us from a lot, but it does seem that Boba Fett and the Mandalorian and all those other space dudes that float around in space all the time have these cool space helmets on. But an Imperial officer wouldn't be allowed to wear those. This is the question of the times.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's got to be like a visor, you know, a handy.
There's got to be a great costume designer on set who can help
Yeah.
us.
There's some
There's
Star Wars
Katie.
fan. Some Star Wars
That
fan
might
out there.
provide a little shield. Look at that, Katie. Wow.
Yeah.
That is so
The
cool.
hat. You know, it's
Yep.
funny. My mic was in my hat, so because I don't know why. It was just where it was, and so it just kept sliding back all the time. So we had to keep pulling it forward. And one of my friends was watching the show, and they're like, "Look at Katie doing her trucker hat thing," and my hat was like way back here in the background because it just slid down so much. But yeah, the little visor, the tiniest little visor of all time. Keep out some of the sun.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that doesn't look
You're
like
awesome.
much sun protection.
Well, thank you, Katie. You're such a good teammate for Special Olympics. You're a great teammate of 24 Hours of Nothing But Net. We cannot thank you enough for your time. And as I said before, it really is the ultimate compliment that you wanted to come back and share your time with us. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no, I'm so excited that you all wanted to have me back, and it's a blast. I wouldn't say every time, but it's been 2 times, so like every time, it's been a blast.
It'll be a blast next year too. So
That's right. That's right.
thank you, Katie, so much. We appreciate your time, your insights, your enthusiasm, your philanthropy, and you lending your stardom and superstarness to help us make this event even bigger.
I mean, yeah, I
make up words a lot.
I'm just a little girl from Indiana, but you guys are the stars, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing for everything. And it's just great that you're dedicating your time, your shoulders. And I mean, this stream goes on how long?
24 hours. We'll start at noon on the 15th, and we'll run for 24 straight hours. We'll let you know when your slot is, when we're going to run this interview, so you can help us with, your social media and your fan club, if you will.
I'll definitely post it, and I'm sure they're gonna love it. So, yeah.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you so much. So great to see you.
Yeah. You guys too. All right. Take care.
Hi, I'm Michaela Walker, assistant coach with Delaware Women's Basketball, and I'm here with sophomore guard Janae Reed, senior point guard Patrick Bott, senior guard Jasmine Dickey. And we want you to join us and the rest of Delaware Women's Basketball in supporting Debbie Antonelli's 24 Hours of Nothing But Net. Starting on May 15th at noon, Debbie Antonelli is going to shoot 100 free throws at the top of every hour in support of Special Olympics. And by pledging just 1 cent per free throw, you will have given $24 to the Special Olympics by the end of the day. Support her today.
Hi, I'm Diane Richardson, women's basketball coach at Towson University. I want to introduce you to my family, my husband Larry, my daughter Dana, and my son Michael. I want to send a special shout out to my good friend and a big thank you to Debbie Antonelli for the work she's done with Special Olympics and the impact it's had on Special Olympians and their families. My daughter Dana was born with cerebral palsy, and they said she would never walk. But Dana took her first steps at 7.5, and then she ran in the Special Olympics and won a silver medal. As you can see, she continued to compete every year. You see her medals. I want you to help Debbie Antonelli with her free throw-a-thon, because with Special Olympics, you can change lives.
Hi, everybody. This is Joe Silvestrius, my wife Victoria, and our little guy Gavin, and we wanted to make this video to show our support for Special Olympics.
So this is Gavin. He was born with a rare medical condition called lymphatic malformation, and hopefully one day with your support, he will be able to participate in the Special Olympics.
Now, we have a friend of ours, Debbie Antonelli, who's doing another 24-hour nothing but net free throw challenge to raise money. She's going to make 100 free throws for 24 hours straight. And knowing her accuracy, she's going to make a ton of them. So we are going to pledge 5 cents for every free throw she makes, and anything that you guys can do to support, we would really appreciate it. And so would Gavin. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck, Debbie.
Good luck.
Special Olympics is very special to DePaul women's basketball. One of our most important service projects here at DePaul is helping serve those great athletes that compete every day in the Special Olympics. On May 15th and May 16th, Debbie Antonelli will be shooting 100 free throws an hour for Special Olympics. We here at DePaul are joining with Debbie and having our own shoot-a-thon that day. I'm just appealing to all Division I programs. It's a great opportunity to help a great cause and have your team start making some free throws.
Hi everyone, I'm Kate and this is Reese and we're joining Team Antonelli in the Nothing But Net 24-hour free throw challenge. We support causes like Special Olympics because one day this little dribbler is going to be out there running around and shooting free throws right next to Debbie. Please consider joining us and donating to a wonderful cause.
Hi, my name is Courtney Burns. I'm the head women's basketball coach at Mitchell College in New London, Connecticut. My team and I are really excited to compete in this year's Nothing But Net event to support the Special Olympics. The Special Olympics is super important to our team and it's something that gives these athletes the opportunity to compete in a sport that they love. Here's a little bit of what our players have to say about the Special
Olympics is important to me because it gives everyone an equal opportunity to experience the joy of participating in athletics.
Special Olympics means to me to give equal opportunity to everyone. And
the Special Olympics are important to me because I got the opportunity to participate in the event when it was held at Mitchell last year, and it was so fun and so good to see them playing basketball, and I got to play with them and play against them, and I got to continue to teach them and show my love for basketball, and I was so sad when the event was canceled this year, so hopefully we can do it next year.
What does the Special Olympics mean to me? It's an equal opportunity for disability to play the sport that they love through the face of adversity.
It's very warming to know that Special Olympics allows people with different abilities the opportunity to achieve the same goals that I have, and that's what's important to me, and that's the best thing about the Special Olympics.
Good luck to all the athletes competing in the event today, and please take some time to click on the link and donate to the Special Olympics. All proceeds go to helping these athletes compete in the sport that they love.
Debbie, this is Tom Crean, and I want to wish you the very best as you get ready to undertake your 24 hours of shooting free throws, making 100 at the top of each hour. I can't imagine that. I can imagine you making 100 free throws. It's hard for me to imagine that somebody's going to do this for 24 hours straight. But if there's somebody that's capable and has the best wingman going, and your son Frankie to help you get there, I know it's Debbie. I know it's Debbie Antonelli, who has done amazing things in her life and has made tremendous contributions to the game of basketball. And you're getting ready to make those contributions again for an incredible enterprise, and that's Special Olympics. I hope Frankie is there to support you every step of the way. I hope they keep your water bottle fueled. I hope they keep you hydrated and with straight nutrition that keeps you strong and keeps you moving. Get your protein, get your carbohydrates, get all the things that you got to have, but most importantly, have fun. And what you're doing for Special Olympics, what you're doing for people, it should be commended for. It should be celebrated. And I am. Thank you, Debbie. Good luck. Good luck, Frankie. Keep her strong. We'll see you soon.
Debbie A., hello from Orlando, Florida. I'm in the gym of the Lake Highland Highlanders, a great basketball program here in Central Florida, surrounded by the most elite coaches in Central Florida. We're going to have them introduce themselves real quick.
All right, this is your boy, Dr. Coach Urban L. Hudson, a.k.a. Dr. Coach O-Hoops, baby, and I am the president and director of Orlando Hoops and also the head basketball coach at Trinity Prep High School.
Hello, I'm Al Honor, Lake Highland Prep Girls Basketball, and also the director of Central Florida Elite Girls Travel Club.
Hello, Steve Reese, head coach at Oak Ridge High School and director of East One Teaching.
These guys do an exceptional job in Central Florida, and they're also doing an exceptional job for the Pepsi Stronger Together team. On behalf of Pepsi Stronger Together, we're honored to participate in this year's 24-hour Nothing But Net Challenge to benefit the Special Olympics. On behalf of this, we'd like to present this check for $10,000. $10,000 as a token of our support to the amazing work being done to help such an incredible cause. Good luck to all the shooters out there. We're cheering you on. Take care.
Welcome back to 24 Hours of Nothing But Net. Thank you for being with us on the live stream. Wow, thank you, Katie O'Brien. You were terrific. And thank you, Frank Martin, for being in the first hour, 10 o'clock hour. All right, so listen to this. We're at 153. It's amazing. The number keeps going up. The number just keeps going up, so we just got to keep shooting, and it feels like the time's going by fast, even though I don't think my body thinks it's going that fast, but just got to keep the right attitude. Okay, you ready, Matt? Let's go. One. Two. Three. Oh, three. Four. Five. Oh, it's off. Five. Six. Seven. Get in there. Eight. Nine. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 20. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. 30. 31. 32. 33. 34. 35. 36. 37. 38. 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. 91. 92. 93. 94. 95. 96. 97. 98. 99. All right. 4. Okay.
I know. Never turn your back again, ever. Who's got it?
Okay. William, we're over here, right? Where's my buddy Amy? Come on, Amy. Amy. This is my friend, Amy Westerman. She owns Years of Experience. She's a big, giant CEO, okay? And she has given the gift of 4 days, 3 nights, 4-pass park hopper for Disney. And if anybody donates, you can win a dish, like Dr. Dish, my buddies at Dr. Dish, incredible partners. And Amy is an amazing partner as well. She has a heart for Special Olympics. Tell us your story, Amy.
So in the 90s, I was in Oklahoma, and I was a special ed teacher. And so it's expected that you take your kids to the state Special Olympics for track and field.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a bus load of kids. We take them, we stay in the dorms for 2 nights. It's some of them the very first time they're away from their family. And it's almost like camp, summer camp for these kids, and they learn so much about themselves, about their friends, about their abilities, and I fell in love with Special Olympics at the time.
So I always believe giving is a skill, and not only as a leader in your company that you do that with your employees, but you also do that with your kids.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, tell us about why.
You know, it's just important. It's important for our kids to know the benefit of giving back, and for them to know that it's not about you as much as it is about what you can learn from somebody else. So my kids have taught me a lot about what I need to give to. I've got an oldest child that has taught me about a passion of mine that I now am, another passion of mine that I learned about through her, and we learn from doing and giving to others.
So tonight is the all-in ball for Dabo, right? I'm
know,
surprised you're not there. I'm so glad you're here instead.
Yep.
Yeah, I know you're a big Clemson fan. Your daughter Natalie just graduated from Clemson, but you also are a big supporter of Clemson Life. Tell us why you support that program.
I heard about it from my daughter who just graduated, and I asked her, watch this program and tell me if it's legit. Because as a past special ed teacher, there's a lot of programs out there that say they're doing the right thing and they have really good intentions, but they just are missing the mark. My daughter knows this. She has watched it growing up, that these are things I'm passionate about, and she said, I've watched it, it's legit. I'm seeing these kids interact like with their peers in Starbucks, sitting down having conversations. And she's like, Mom, I think we need to jump in.
Yeah, well, you're on speed dial for many of the Clemson Life students. I know that they call you. Speaking of that which, I just heard the phone ring. So thank you, Amy. Thank you for the gift to help us raise money. You know, we're at 155.
Yeah, and we've got some time to go, guys. So.
155. We just keep going up. It's amazing. I mean, every hour we go up.
And you can win a Disney trip or Dr. Dish, and we will. We're dedicated to next year. We'll do it again next year. Yes.
Sweet. Okay, now stick around because thank you, Amy. I appreciate it personally and for what you're helping Special Olympics with. Next, I know that Buzz Williams, my buddy, who's the head coach at Texas A&M, might be leaving the ballpark after watching the Houston Astros play tonight. And I think he might have Bubba and Mason with him. He's got 4 kids, his 2 boys. Bubba and I are connected, we're buddies. Me and Bubba are tight. I care about Bubba. He knows I've got his back. And I think Bubba likes to watch this live stream. So we're going to go to Coach Williams in his interview. He did a fantastic job giving us a unique perspective around his basketball culture at Texas A&M. So thrilled to have Coach Buzz Williams with us from Texas A&M. Buzz, thank you so much for your support of this event, for you and your families. Always generous hospitality whenever I get to be around you and your family.
My family thinks the world of you. You're a common mention in our house. I haven't told them yet. I know they know about your event, but I haven't told them exactly when it was, because last year I think somehow they were able to watch you, right? Like, weren't they? Yeah. You sent me a link or something? Yeah, I'll send you a link. We have a YouTube channel, Facebook. We stream the whole thing 24 hours, and you're going to be a part of the 24-hour live stream. Oh, so, is that right? Oh yeah. That's I was just saying yes because I refused to say no to you. I didn't even know what this was for. Sorry that my appearance is what it is. I just got through working out. But last year, as you know, I'm not very good with technology, but Bubba and Sissy and Mason, they all knew how to get to that throughout the 24 hours, and they would check on you, and then they'd come tell me exactly how you were doing and how many shots and all of that. Well, I'm in training, so I'm in 2-a-days right now. You would appreciate that. And I am, even though— When is the event? May 15 and 16. Oh, we're getting close. Oh yeah, we're really close. We're inside 10 days now that, since we're taping this, we're inside 10 days. Wow. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. There's anxious. Where do you shoot at? I'm shooting in my driveway. I have my own Dr. Dish. When I turned 50, that's what I wanted for my birthday. And my husband thought I was out of my mind, but that's what I wanted. And so you're going to shoot 24 consecutive hours in your driveway using Dr. Dish? Yeah, so I'll make 100 on the top of every hour. And then we'll have programming around, like what you're doing with us right now. Right. And so we'll promote in advance that you'll get to tune in at a certain time. Buzz Williams is going to be with us. Wow. This is turning into a big deal. Not because I'm on it. I'm probably hurting that. But I'm saying, so you're going to make 100 shots at the top of every hour? Right. And then the next hour, you're going to shoot another 100? For 24 straight hours. I go around the clock. I start at noon in my driveway, and I end at noon on Sunday. And you have lights, obviously, in your driveway that are already there, or you transport them in? We bring lights in. I bring some event piping and draping to try to take the glare down off my neighbors. And so is it shoot 100 or make 100? It's make 100. And so so you're going to make, what are you going to make, 2,400 shots? Right. And last year, how many shots did you have to shoot in order to make the 2,400? So I'll tell you, the first year I was in the gym, and I shot 94% for the 24 hours. 94%? Yes. Huh. We should have signed you out of the transfer portal. Goodness gracious. That's all I can do though, Buzz. I mean, if I was in your system, I would run to the corner, wait for you to get me the ball. And then if you wanted me to play any defense, I'd probably play about, I don't know, I'd sprint back and try to guard somebody on the 3-point line, because I know that my job would be in your system to not let them shoot a 3. That's exactly right. So are you shooting free throws? Yeah, so that you'll see it when you're watching the live stream. And I'm not sure what hour we're going to put you on, but this is a great conversation. I'm loving this because there are a lot of people tuning in right now and want to know what I'm doing. So you're helping me explain the entire event to them. So yes. Cool. So the first year I shot in a gym, 94%. Last year, because of COVID, I was in my driveway. Oh. And so I shot 89%. Still really good. It was okay, but I was a little, I don't want to sound greedy or selfish, because the purpose of this whole event is really not about the free throws. Obviously, it's about Special Olympics. But we raised 85 the first year, 125 the second year, and you've been a supporter of mine from the beginning. Wow. How much did I do last year? How did I do it? Did I just give money, or do I do it per shot? What did I do? So you made a significant donation to the site. I don't know if you want me to tell everybody how. I have to do it online? You can, but Corey, your wife is great. She helped out. Well, you have to text me the link because I can't figure that out.
Maybe I should get Corey's number and tell her what you gave last year. And
yeah, I need to write that down so that I make sure that my kids show it to me. It's next Saturday or next Friday.
The 15th and 16th. So it's Saturday at noon Eastern.
Okay. Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
And
all
what's the
night.
official 24 hours of nothing but net?
Yeah. So it's 24hoursnbn.com. So I can tell you right now, Buzz, Bubba's going to be up after midnight watching me shoot because he's interested in what I'm doing.
Yeah. So this is interesting that and it starts at noon East Coast time.
Right.
So it's going to start at 11 a.m. down here. So next week, this week is Mother's Day.
Yes.
And so I take each of my children on a date each month and take Corey on a date each month. So the boys' date next week is Saturday. And since we've lived here, partially because of the pandemic in year number 2, year number 1, I was a below average father because of what was going on at work and the work required. I'm taking them to their first ever Houston Astros game.
Oh,
so next Saturday, Rangers at Astros at 6 p.m. I'm taking the boys on the date. And then the girls are coming to Houston that evening. And I'm taking them to church at Joel Osteen's church on Sunday morning because Sissy's leaving for her mission trip to Africa the next morning. So we're going to catch 24 hours nothingbutnet.com pretty much throughout the. We'll be able to keep up with you.
Well, you know what? Well,
but we need to sign in on on the hour because I want to see you shoot. I don't want to watch an interview with me.
Well, you could watch an interview with lots of different people. We're going to have the whole thing programmed. We'll have lots of.
That's a lot of programming.
Coaches from South Carolina, all coaches, basketball, football, Mia Hamm, Dabo.
Wow.
I've got some exceptional Olympic athletes like Bonnie Blair, or, my favorite golfer is Beth Daniel.
Yeah.
Growing up playing golf, she was my favorite player to watch because she was a tall player on the LPGA tour. There weren't a lot of tall golfers, so I was drawn to her. So she's become a friend. Usually we get Darius Rucker. We're expecting Darius, some WNBA players.
Really good. And so how long will it take you to make 100 on average?
So it takes about 10 minutes.
Yeah, so we're going to have 50 minutes of programming per hour for 24 consecutive hours.
Yes.
That's a lot of work.
I've already interviewed, we're here today, since you and I are taping this the week before the event. I've already interviewed about 25 people pre-tape that will.
Have you done Shane Beamer yet?
He's coming up tomorrow.
Tell Coach I said what's up.
I am doing Shane Beamer. Is he a friend of yours?
Absolutely. One of my, I'm really close, obviously, with Frank and with Don, but real close with Shane too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Shane was an assistant for Coach Beamer when I was at Virginia Tech.
Right. Yep.
And then when we played at South Carolina this year, played being loosely used, I met with Coach Beamer that morning for a long time because he had just taken the job there.
Yeah, they're very excited about him at South Carolina. Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
I got Shane Beamer, I got Dabo Sweeney. I mean, of course, Frank and Dawn, as you mentioned, they're great. Amanda and Brad. Yeah.
That's really good.
It's awesome.
You got it figured out. What about Coach Tanner? Isn't he the AD?
He is. Coach Tanner will be on also.
And who from your alma mater is going to be interviewed?
I don't know. You know what? I don't know. I haven't decided that yet. There's a lot of people I could ask.
Yeah, I think, let me see.
Do you want to work for us next year, Buzz? I mean, we could use your Rolodex.
Yeah, let's get Coach Dave on there. I'll text you his number right now.
Okay. He should be on.
He's one of Dave Doering. He's
Yeah,
one of my.
I know. I met Dave Doering. He actually has a child that has autism. I bet he would love to.
That's why I was saying it. Yes, ma'am. That's why I was saying it. He'll do it. Tell him that I gave you his number.
I will.
I try not to share what football coaches I know, but I'm a fan of Coach Doering.
I'm a fan of his too, and he and I have met and we have chatted, but I didn't have his number, but I'm glad to have it. So thank you.
You have it now. I just texted. I just sent it to you.
It just came through. I got it.
How about that? That is awesome.
Hey, listen,
who are those pictures behind you over your left shoulder? The three guys.
Those are my guys right there.
That's what I was wondering.
This is one of my favorite pictures. It's me and Frankie.
Look at Frank.
Shoot till your arm falls off.
Was that one of the original 24 hours?
No, that was me working a clinic and running a clinic, and he was helping me.
Wow.
Then we dressed, and let me show you this one more picture.
And so what year is this of the 24-hour shoot-a-thon?
This is my third. You see this one right here?
Yeah, who is all of that?
That's my grandmother.
Holy smokes, is it really?
Yeah.
What year do you think that picture was?
I think it would have been in the, I think it's in the 50s.
I would say it's in the 50s.
She grew up in New York City. St. Catherine of Siena they used to have girls and boys clubs in the Catholic Church, right? And she grew up, this is what she told me, the very first basket she ever scored was in the wrong basket. I don't know if she can tell that, but.
Yeah, I would say that was in the 50s.
Yeah, she was born in the 30s in New York City.
And is that John Wooden's book up there, the gold one over your left shoulder right there?
All of these right here are Coach Wooden's books.
Yeah, I can see some of the spines. I recognize one of them.
Are you in the book room or is that your office?
That's my office.
Is your office a book room?
Yeah. Hey, Josh. So, I don't know really how this works, but this camera that's piping me in through the Zoom, he can take it off and I can show it to you if you're interested.
Yeah, we would love to see it.
Okay. Hey, Josh. Sorry for those.
When are you going to write a book? When are you going to write your book?
So far, I want to say this humbly. So far, the publishing companies that I have visited with about it over the last several years, please. I don't know how to answer the question. One company wanted me to write a leadership business style book. A different company flew to meet with me and they wanted me to write my story. And then the original company that wanted me to write the leadership book they called me a couple of years ago when I first took this job, and they wanted me to write a children's book because they had done some research on Buzz's Bunch and thought that would be a way, hey, we'll let you write a children's book if you'll write the leadership book. But I do want to do that. I just don't have peace yet about what I would say and the timing of it. Because what I want to do, Josh, I want to show Debbie my office. What I want to do is I'll similar to Twitter, when I was very delayed in starting social media. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let someone else run it for me. And I'm only going to do it if I feel as though it helps someone in some way. Otherwise, I won't tweet. And so I want to, if and when it works where I can write a book, I want to do it when the intent is to help someone. And so right now, I just don't know what I would write that would help someone, because I don't know that saying my story necessarily helps someone. And then I'm afraid if I wrote a leadership-esque type book, I would want it to be with great humility, and I don't know exactly what words I would use where it wouldn't come across in an arrogant way. So I don't know, but someday I am. Can you show her? Okay, so I'm going to stand up and
Oh, this is
kind of
great.
peruse you around. So let's start at the front. Okay, so as you walk in my office, Josh, that's who's running the camera. Josh is in charge of branding for our program and also / for me. He was a manager for us at Virginia Tech. He's very, Debbie, his father passed away of ALS, and Josh was one of the first people that did the ALS ice bath challenge. And he got a scholarship when he was in college to ALS research. So he updates this every year. I guess I have 14 of these. That's kind of a collage. And then along the top is every NBA player and every jersey they've worn. So you know every one of these kids because you call games everywhere that I've worked. Over here if you just kept following it, that was Jimmy's Olympic jersey. So we have 2 new ones. Justin Robinson with the Oklahoma City Thunder this month, and then Juan, who's playing for Golden State. They're at the frame shop. This is wallpaper right here. It says eyes wide open. And Muhammad Ali is one of my favorite athletes, and I've read every book about him and watched a lot of videos. And, he never closed his eyes when he was in a fight. He always fought eyes wide open. And I think that's the way we should live our life / fight / play basketball. This is a box that Josh had made for me. We wear Adidas currently. And this is just random stuff in there. But this is my latest family picture that Josh has put in there. And it's just a shoebox. And this is just stuff that I give away when people come to my office.
That's awesome.
All these different masks. There's a Buzz's Bunch mask. And then this is a table. I was meeting this morning with Mike Neighbors, the women's coach at Arkansas. He's in town for Coach Blair Charities event, and I was studying with him his offense. But these are the 6 core values at Texas A&M: excellence, integrity, leadership, loyalty, respect, selfless service. And Josh had this made for me. Obviously, I'm from Texas. This is a Texas table, and it has all of my championship rings. I was a senior in college. That was when I was an assistant at Colorado State, assistant at Texas A&M. And then these other 10 rings are since I've been a head coach. Every year I do a photo album. So this was last year's book, and it was our theme. I think I've given you our quote shirts in the past. We do quote shirts. To the Moon was our theme last year. Every quote shirt contains that particular year's theme. And then all this is if you went through it, it's every single thing. These are really thick pages. It's the whole year. So we do a Christmas party every year. There's Bubba at the Christmas party. There's Corey and I at the Christmas party. We do a graduation picture. Those were our 2 seniors last year. Let me see if I can find some other, like that's a quote shirt, Race to Maturity. Everyone. I used to work for Mike McConaughey. We played them in our first game as the head coach here at A&M. That's Coach Orr. You remember Coach Orr, my junior college coach. Joe Fultz, who I coached at Texas at Marquette, who's an assistant with us here. Here's a quote shirt. Everything is an interview. We did some media type training. That was media day, Coach Dykes. So it's just a chronological order. The day before school starts every year, we take family and staff pictures, A and M. So there's all of the families of our staff right there. And that picture is always at the front of our office. And then this wall is a magnet wall that has 5 different coats of paint. So I'm going a little fast, but this is a collage from last year of my family, and Josh does a different one of those every year. And my children always take a picture with their favorite quote shirt. The only people that get quote shirts are those that can get on the team bus, my family, and then Josh makes 5 extras that I can give away. So if you have one, that's how you have one.
Wow,
like
thank you.
Chance favors the well prepared is that one. Here's our trainer who's with the Orlando Magic. I always say we work around here, pal, and he was making fun of, made his own quote shirt. I was wearing one that day, flipped the blessing. But this magnet wall are just pictures of a variety of things. And then this is my desk. I'm kind of funny about my desk. I didn't know this was going to be on Zoom, so it's a little messier than I want. But Josh had this design for me. This is all one piece. All of this is one piece. And I don't have a computer in my office because I don't check email and I don't do that. So I don't want a computer. But I have a computer that I watch tape on. It's actually this computer that I'm doing the Zoom with you on. Every day is a work day, is inscribed on this desk. And then this is a different anywhere I've been, but I read a book a week. And I've done that for years. And when I read the book, I take notes in the book. And then I have a student worker who types up all of my book notes. So these are my book notes since I've been at Texas A&M. And then I have a monthly calendar, and it's very complex to explain. But remember when you and I first met at the game on the boat, and I made the mistake. For a long time, I wrote you every month. That my monthly calendar includes the 120 people a month that I write. So these are all of my monthly calendars. Fight in the middle of the ring. That was a quote shirt that came from a speech. And this was the actual speech I said. In life, you have to fight in the middle of the ring. In a game, you have to fight in the middle of the ring. And so Josh gave this to me as a birthday gift, these gloves, and actually what I said that particular day. And then these are all of my books. These are my books that are here. I have this same sort of setup at my house because I would need I had a library at my house in Blacksburg, and obviously that's not very effective use of space, but someday when I'm old, I'll have all my books at one place. But all of these books going this way, I've read. And then these are the books that I will read that I haven't read yet. I will end up reading nearly all of these this year. The books that I read each week are at my house, and then I choose from these books to take home for whatever's next on my list to read. These are all my monthly notes. These are my prayer journals that I do my quiet time with each day. This is the town that I grew up in. This is Main Street in the town where I grew up in. And these are the greatest testimony to a leader, the things that I think leaders should do. He left them better than he found them. He took them where they couldn't see they could go. He told them the truth so they would always know what lies were. He invested in them so they would invest in others. He learned while he taught. He inspired while he perspired. He gave them hell by having a high standard daily so they craved heaven and ended up there. So these are just, Brene Brown,
yes.
Huge fan of hers. That's one of her quotes. This is my love letter box. I have a love letter box that will go from May 20 through May 21. So this will be the last month of this love letter box. You probably know a little bit about this, but anybody that writes me handwritten notes, I respond to them. And I've done that throughout my career. So these are just a variety of those notes that I keep. And I have love letter boxes from each year that I've coached. This is probably a little angry. It's not meant to be angry, but this is a, what is this called, Josh? Canvas.
Yeah, canvas wrap.
This is a canvas wrap of when I left Virginia Tech and came to Texas A&M. Different people, what they said, people that covered us. This guy was a beat writer. This guy was a beat writer. This was a comment that was said after I left. Just a variety of things. And then this was the same canvas wrap when I left Marquette and went to Virginia Tech. Just wanting to remember it. I have another one at my house when I resigned as the head coach at New Orleans and went to Marquette. So it's just, it's a lot of stuff that I just want to remember so I'm not persuaded or impacted by what people say. You see, every year we take pictures of my children. So Sissy, Bubba, Mason, and Baby. This was in 2010. So I have all of these from every year throughout. And just a variety of stuff. Here's all of the yearbooks, the picture yearbooks of my head coaching career. This is what they started out as, kind of a scrapbook type deal. This chair is where I read every day. There's a matching chair, all of the TV stuff that you want. This is a new deal that I added this week. Literally just added it this week. It's to help my brain. So I just come over here and try to putt and try to make five and just try to flush out my brain. So that's kind of my office, Debbie.
Are you left-handed?
Yeah, thanks for asking. I putt left-handed.
Okay, and then how do you find a Josh? Because a couple of things that you have in your office, I might like to have in mine.
Yeah, he is literally the best in the country. He was a student manager when I was hired at Virginia Tech. He was standing at the office when I got there. And he was the only person there. Like literally, he was the only person there. No coaches, no nothing. It was just Josh. And he was a senior in college my first year at Virginia Tech. And then went and got a job with Nike in what was my second year at Virginia Tech. And then I had a secretary leave starting my third year. And I told him to rewrite the job responsibilities to hire Josh because I felt like this was the wave. Dabo's the one that I learned it from. Dabo and I are friends. I've been to Clemson many times in an undercover way and spent time with him before I was the head coach at Virginia Tech, but also while at Virginia Tech. And, you know, when you go to Clemson and they have Clemson Google and all of those guys are just handling their recruiting, I knew that was eventually going to bleed into basketball. And I just wanted somebody that was really skilled with graphics and ideas and video, highlight clips, etc. So we were one of the first in the country to hire him. And then now, you know, everybody has their version of Josh, but he was kind of at the beginning stage of, hey, Josh, you don't have to do anything on the court. I don't want you to be a coach. I just want you to grow our brand, so to say. And he's the best I've ever seen. He actually does everything. I'm doing a seminar at 2:00 in 15 minutes on listening with 3 authors. And like he kind of sets all of this up, the microphone, the camera, the Zoom. And God just created him very uniquely, and he's very, very good. And what I try to do is just overpay him so he never leaves. Because I don't know where another Josh is. That's the deal. Like I don't know where they are.
Well, when you find good people, right? I mean, Buzz, you've always had good people around you, and you always find a way to help them succeed. That's sort of what we're doing with this fundraiser. We're trying to, help people that need a little extra that Special Olympics can provide, from a chance to train and compete, from programming. So it's directly benefiting the athletes. And you mentioned Buzz's Bunch. So I know I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you got to go, but that's how we initially met, Buzz's Bunch. We were talking about that. Tell everybody about Buzz's Bunch. You've been invested in Special Olympics and helping people for a long time, longer than I have.
Well, it started, thanks for asking. It started 14 years ago. I shouldn't have got the Marquette job. Had a losing record, was ill qualified for the job when Coach Crean left and went to Indiana. And I interviewed 14 times for the job over the course of 7 days with all of the different constituents that would be involved in the decision. And when they offered me the job, I was sequestered in Father Wild's office, which was kind of an office, kind of not an office. And when they offered me the job, I only had 4 questions. Obviously, I was going to take the job, but I had 4 questions before I took the job. And the last question that I asked was, could Corey and I start a program for special needs children that was never restricted in size? And the word I used, which may not be the appropriate word, restricted in scope. I didn't just want it to be Coaches versus Cancer. I didn't want it to just be for a specific situation. I wanted it to be for anybody. And so Father Wild, who obviously is a priest, he was the president at Marquette. He said, Buzz, I love the idea. And I said, well, I don't exactly know what it will become, but I would really like to do it. And if it turns into something, I just don't ever want it to be restricted. I don't want to have a ceiling on it. And it has turned into more than I could have possibly imagined. One of the original Buzz's Bunch members graduates tomorrow from high school. And one of the original Buzz's Bunch members graduates from college next Friday. And he was actually a manager at the University of Wisconsin. And he has been to every Buzz's Bunch event for 14 consecutive years. And so it's just turned into lifelong relationships, not only with our players, but with our staff. After the conclusion of my 10th year as a head coach, that was while I was at Virginia Tech, I had a reunion. And I invited and flew in every player, every former player, every former student manager, every former student trainer, every former assistant coach, along with every AD, vice president, and president that hired me, and every coach that I ever worked for. So it ended up being like 180 something people. Flew them in for an entire weekend. A lot of work went into it. And we always do Buzz's Bunch the first Saturday in August. And we did the 10-year reunion over that same weekend and invited every member of Buzz's Bunch that had ever participated to come to Buzz's Bunch that particular year to see all of the old players, all of the old coaches. And we did that, and it was an incredible experience. We were not able to do Buzz's Bunch last year because of the pandemic. And then based on what I have learned thus far, I don't think that I'm going to do it again this year, just because I don't know that it's right for the children that would be here. But it's been a big part of what we do and how we do it. Obviously, Corey's been a big part of that. My children have been a part of all of them, built relationships with families across the country. And so we didn't know what we're doing then, and I'm not saying that we even know what we're doing now, but it has for sure created a grouping of people and families that, regardless, even on the Buzz's Bunch t-shirt, that we do now. Whether they come or not, every kid that's ever been a part gets a Buzz's Bunch t-shirt. It has the blue and gold for Marquette logo, the maroon and orange for Virginia Tech, the maroon and white for Texas A&M, like you would have at a concert tour, all of those shirts. So yeah, thanks for asking. It's been a cool part of what we've done.
Well, it was a basis of building our relationship, is that we both had, interest in trying to help. And that's what I'm trying to do. I mean, with my son,
You're
Frank.
doing it.
You've been such a great supporter. I appreciate what you do, Buzz. I always enjoy our conversations. And
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry for the long diatribe of showing you my
gosh,
office.
are you kidding? That's
maybe
awesome.
that'll fill some content.
It's great. No, I appreciate you and Corey and the kids and everything that you do. And I always enjoy covering your team. And it makes me better.
We've got to get better. The Aggies weren't very good this year, but hopefully we'll be a little better next year.
Well, I've been watching what you're doing. You got a couple things happening, so it's all good.
We're going in the right direction. We just got to keep going.
Yep.
Great to see you. I'll be watching you next weekend.
Thank you, Buzz. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so
Appreciate it. I am thrilled and honored that Coach Dave Doering from NC State would take the time out of his busy schedule to join us on 24 Hours of Nothing But Net. This is a part of the live stream, Coach, and I'm not sure exactly where we're going to have you inserted, but you'll be a keynote speaker on our highlights for our live stream. So thank you for being with us.
I appreciate the opportunity and appreciate what you're doing to raise, such great awareness and using your platform for an incredible cause.
Well, thank you for saying that. You and I have a lot in common, actually. I mean, our love for NC State would probably be one of the first things that people would know about us. But also, we have 3 boys, and I have a child with Down syndrome, and that's my motivation for doing this. But you also have a child with some intellectual disability as well. So we have, with the 3-boy club, I'm sure your wife's a saint. She might be the queen in your house. It's definitely not the case here. But tell me about your experience with your family.
Well, you're right. First of all, Saint Sarah, this is what I call her. But we're blessed with 3 great children. And back when I was coaching at Kansas, we learned that Jacob was on the autism spectrum. We're actually given information at that time that we need to prepare ourselves as parents to have him live with us for the rest of his life, and that he would probably never be able to be on his own. And it was at that moment I grabbed her hand and wasn't very kind to the doctor. Was pretty upset. Said, you're not going to label my son at 3 years old. And we got up and left. And so, from that point on, there's a lot of learning. He's been to a lot of doctors, seen a lot. He's now in college and is doing great and successful and probably out-kicking his coverage, I guess you would say. But, we've learned a lot in the process. We do, I wouldn't say we do a lot, but we try to do a lot of charity, within that area here in Wake County, and now with 321 Coffee that employs students with disabilities when they get out of high school or out of college.
Before we get into the 321 Coffee in Wake County, because I know what you do in that area and that community. I'm from that community. I grew up in Cary. Of course, I went to NC State and played basketball. I want to talk about Jake for a second, because your son is in college and my son is in college as well. And I know as parents, when you discovered at 3 that Jake was on the autism spectrum, and we learned about an hour after Frankie was born that he had Down syndrome, college was the furthest thing from our minds. Not families like ours didn't have those options back then, but now we do. And it's incredibly inspiring to hear what Jake is doing. And I can just tell you, my son Frankie in the Clemson Life Program, Coach, he's going to class. He lives with 2 other Clemson Life students. He has a job. He is in a fraternity. He's a manager for the women's basketball team, and he plays intramural basketball. He has a full schedule. Tell us about what Jake's day is like.
He this semester transferred into Appalachian State and is studying sustainable technology there. And just kind of getting his feet wet. Unfortunately, getting there during COVID has made it a little bit different as far as engaging with the community. It's been pretty locked down in Boone. But he left Apex High School and went to Lewisburg College, and I can't say enough about the people at Lewisburg and the administration, the tutors, the program they have set up there for their students with disabilities. And it's been incredible seeing him become this confident and successful as a student, learning the skill set that he didn't gain, missing out on some of those building blocks, I guess you'd say, is some students get passed by, I think, in the tracks that they haven't been in school systems. And now he's a very confident student, and he's doing well. And he's like he's challenged. Every day it's a full schedule, and it's very competitive with the student body. But so far, so good.
I understand what you're talking about with building blocks. We call it Team Antonelli, and for us, you have St. Sarah. I'm sure she was out front in charge, making sure that Jake had the resources that he needed. And for families like ours, we can provide some of the resources that our kids need, but there's a lot of families that can't, and that's where Special Olympics comes in. Special Olympics is such an incredible organization, and that's why we're doing what we're doing. And I appreciate your help so much, because everyone can make a difference for Special Olympics. I'm shooting free throws to draw awareness and raise money, and I know Special Olympics has played a role in your life with your son, but I also know you've also had some events on campus with your football team. Can you spend a little time telling us about what you did and why you did it?
Yeah, we learned about Victory Day. Is probably my second or third year here. We saw Iowa State doing it, and so did some homework with our staff and their staff, and I met with Coach Campbell and talked about how big of an influence it was on their roster afterwards. He had no idea it would take over kind of their team the way it did, and so we did it, and it was one of the best ways to engage a roster with a cause that I've been a part of. And so since then, we've done it 2 times. And basically what it is, we team up with Gigi's Playhouse here in Raleigh, and they bring, the families over, and our team lines up with them and gets in formations and hands them the ball and lets them all score a touchdown, celebrates with every single one of them in the end zone, one at a time. It's an incredible evening. It's their night, and we're just there to be a part of it with them. They feel like they're there for us. We're there for them, and so it's just a great uplifting evening to I think some people look at community service as a way that you're going out to help them. I think at the end of the night, you feel like it's the other way